then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year, 87. We got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about it's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly, and then came back and won 3 in a row, coming home to win the 5th game, only to realize that winning a championship, even after all the experience we had, is not that easy. And then going back to Philadelphia for Game 6, and they trounced us in Philly. Now we find ourselves in a Game 7, and then once you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. You can get a bad break, an unlucky bounce, as we've seen in the past. And so everything's at stake. Everything's on the line. And I think luckily for us, we're able to, really kind of rely on our experiences that we had in the past. We felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty. And sure enough, we're able to win our 3rd cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
New York Rangers legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to share what it was like to play in the 1994 finals with the New York Rangers, as well as ending the 54-year drought for the franchise and how that team represented what a hockey team is all about.
Well, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about 1994 as well. You mentioned Mike Keenan. We spoke with him in studio a couple of weeks ago. He still speaks so highly of you and of that run. So take us back to ending the 54-year drought. In Game 7, you get a power play goal. You shovel a puck underneath of Kirk McLean. Stands up as the game winner, as it turns out. So take us back to that hot, steamy night. What was it, June 14th of 1994 at the Garden in New York?
Just, I guess just starting, going to the rink, trying to keep your same routine. Brian Leach and I would always drive together down through Times Square, down Broadway 7th Avenue to take a right-hand turn on 33rd Street. And you could feel things were different, even from the Upper West Side. Just the vibe and the energy of the whole city was just electrified. Getting down towards Madison Square Garden, seeing the crowd already starting to build, the police officers surrounding the Garden. It was a carnival-like atmosphere. Obviously, we knew we were something on the cusp of doing something that hadn't been done in 54 years. The magnitude of it was palpable. I mean, the energy, just everything just seemed to be so electrified. You try to keep yourself in the moment. You try to stay with your routine. Obviously, there's much more at stake. And then, we found ourselves, much like we did in 87, up 3-1 in the series, losing to fifth game, where it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that New York Rangers were finally going to win a Stanley Cup after 54 years. Only to find ourselves, the party atmosphere got a little bit delayed and then had to go back to Vancouver, which again, we got trounced in Vancouver, just like we did in 87. And now we're coming home for Game 7. And the same thing happened. We felt good about our chances. We felt we were a better team than Vancouver. We felt that we should have wrapped up the series earlier against Vancouver, but that's the greatest thing about sports. You can think all you want, but the reality is they got a heartbeat over there too. They got pride over there too. They're there for a reason because they're a great team. And here we are in Game 7 and happen to go out and execute a great game plan to beat a very hungry, very young, very physical, hard team to play against in Vancouver. And luckily for us, we had a lot of experience. We had a dynamic, incredible amount of talent with Brian Leach and Sergei Zubov, Alex Kovalev, Adam Graves and Mike Richter and net, and then sprinkled in with some veterans, some hardened veterans with McTavish and Tikkanen and Steve Larmer and Noonan and Mateau and Jeff Bukaboom and Jay Wells and all the amazing players that banded together that year to create maybe not the most skilled team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, but if you look up the word team, they could put the 1994 Ranger team right there, and that year, that team epitomizes what a team is all about.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
Six-time Stanley Cup champion and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin to discuss what Game 7 means to him and what it's like to also lose a Game 7.
Well, when you think about the two greatest words in sports, you think about Game 7 for many reasons. Obviously, to get to a Game 7, both teams obviously very evenly matched from the literal sense, the Game 7. You don't have to be a sport fan to understand that something's big at stake and that you will go watch it, even if you don't know the teams, you don't know the players, you know the backdrop, because it's the greatest form of reality TV in the world, because there is going to be a winner and a loser. A lot at stake, obviously. But for me personally, it's a lifetime journey to acquire the skill set that's required to be able to perform when the stakes are the highest, under the most scrutinized pressure, when you're expected to perform. And you think about a Game 7 moment or Game 7, that's when you have to perform. It's a winner or go home situation. And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally, what prepares you to play in those moments and perform when you're expected to? That, I think, is what really defines a Game 7 moment for the players that have excelled in Game 7 moments. And what are those life lessons that we can teach our young boys and girls, and the skill sets required to do that? The breathing, it's being able to slow your heart down, and your blood pressure goes up, and your decision-making is rash, and concentration varies because of all of it. What allows you to kind of really slow down and use your God-given talent, and then obviously the repetitions through your whole life that you know you can do it. You just got to be able to do it when it matters most. It's like hitting a home run, and like Aaron Boone did, or doing something special at the right moments. And I think the educational part of the docuseries is really fascinating to me there, to help our young boys and girls who will be faced with big decisions in their life. And you don't have to be a sport fan to have a Game 7 moment in life. Everybody's faced with decisions that are going to alter the trajectory of their lives in one way or another there. And we're trying to figure out what those skill sets are.
What does it feel like to lose a Game 7?
Fortunately for me, I never experienced what the Oilers did last year, of going all the way to the end in a championship game and losing in a Game 7. Anytime you get to a Game 7, it's a hard journey to get there. Two teams, evenly matched. It's been a war. It's been a tug of war. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's tired. And then to lose that is devastating. I think about my own experience in Game 7, winning 7 of them. The two still hurt to this day. What could I have done different? You always say that you got to lose in order to understand how to win. I do agree with that. I think there are lessons in loss and in failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Track.
9. The Fan.
Carolina Hurricanes hockey is presented by Lenovo and is brought to you by Pepsi, Kinetico, Spectrum, UNC Health, Vector Security, North Carolina Education Lottery, Harris Teeter, Kia, and Cardinal Apparel. You're listening to the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Like a bucket of ice water, Game 1 of this Eastern Conference Final Series was a chilling reminder that the further along the road to the Stanley Cup you get, the tougher it is. Hi, everyone. I am Adam Gold, and tonight the Carolina Hurricanes will try to do something they haven't done in their history, and that is beat the Florida Panthers in an Eastern Conference Final Series. There's a narrative for you. It has never happened. The Hurricanes have never beaten the Panthers in the conference finals. Granted, this is just the 6th game, but the Canes have lost the previous 5. And if they want to rid themselves of just one of those national narratives the pundits have been leaning on approaching this series, there's only one way to get it done. Tonight has to be a win. 8-7 with a Sebastian Aho hat trick, 1-0 with a Freddie Anderson shutout, 4-3 with all Carolina goals going in off the tush of Jordan Staal. It doesn't matter what it looks like. The night just has to end with Carolina on top. Last chance at shutting that noise down came Tuesday. These two teams opened the series, second time in 3 years. The old Southeast Division rivals have clashed at this stage, and the Hurricanes started well. They had good looks early, 2-on-1 chance with Aho and Seth Jarvis, a very good-looking power play that was unfortunately cut short when Aho was sent off for roughing in a post-whistle scrum. Can't do that. Unfortunately, the Hurricanes' otherworldly penalty kill came back to earth. Carter Verhaeghe got Florida on the board. Aaron Ekblad made it 2-0. 4 minutes later, the air was out of the balloon. Aho did get a goal, his first since sending the Devils home in round 1, and that should have given the Hurricanes some momentum entering the second period, but that isn't what happened. Panthers' best period of the game was the second. A.J. Greer made it 3-1 early in the second. Sergei Bobrovsky did the rest. His stickless save on Jack Roslovic, just incredible. Maybe even a little soul-crushing as Carolina could not get back. The game wasn't over. There was still about 30 minutes to play, but that was the best scoring chance of the entire night. And if they weren't going to pot one there, man, might never happen, right? But they got to go through it, got to get through it. Now it's back to business, back to trying to get into the series, understanding that this is not the Devils or the Capitals, but a Florida Panthers team that is still the cup holders, a team that has played for it the last 2 years. One on a 4-year run of excellence the Canes are striving to mimic. Maybe not quite like 2 years ago, though, when all 4 games were down to the wire. Seat-of-your-pants thrillers. Tuesday's opener was still one that was there for Carolina to contest if you could only have gotten the first goal or responded after the Panthers got theirs. Well, that's gone now. There are still takeaways, and it doesn't look like Jalen Chatfield will play. We just handed the lineup, and it will be Scott Morrow drawing in for Jalen Chatfield tonight. So that means Carolina's going to have to mitigate the loss of one of their most important players. And Chatfield has not played since the last game of the Washington series and Tuesday's opener. He hasn't played didn't play Tuesday against the Panthers. We'll be back with lineups and more after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination with the best bar in Cary. Experience the ultimate thrill with 16 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Apex Racing Lab brings the adrenaline-pumping world of sim racing to life. It's the perfect place for your next birthday party or corporate event. Ready to race? Head to Apex Racing Lab in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at ApexRacinglab.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream, available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center as we get you ready for game number 2, Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. And according to the lineup sheet I have been handed, it does not include Jalen Chatfield. That is a huge loss for Carolina. We all saw what happens without him. Carolina got through the game against Washington, but that's Washington. They don't play with the same speed and tenacity that does Florida. So if Chatfield, in fact, can't go, and again, this lineup that I've been handed has him as a scratch, then it will be touch and go for Carolina as we get into game 2, and a game that Carolina has to win. So let's get to the lineups and injuries and scratches brought to you by UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. So Chatfield, third straight game without. Fellow Blue Liners Ty Smith and Riley Stillman and Alexander Nikishin will sit out, as well as forwards Tyson Jost and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Kane starting lineups now as we get to them. Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, Andrei Svechnikov. This trio produced the first period goal that had everyone hyped heading to the second, just didn't carry over. Jordan Stahl, Jordan Martinook will carry Jack Roslovic, Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven. Important for Carolina's bottom 6 to hit the score sheet tonight or be impactful in the game. Mark Jankowski draws in for the first time since game 1 of the Capital Series. He will center Eric Robinson and Jackson Blake. On the back end, Slavin and Burns, Orloff and Walker, Gostisbehere and Sean Walker coming off a playoff debut he'd like to forget, but a chance to redeem himself tonight. Maybe, by the way, with Frederik Andersen, who allowed 5 goals on 20 shots in game 1. Don't know how many you can attribute to him, but he did allow 5 goals on 20 shots. Other end of the rink, Sergei Bobrovsky. In his playoff career against Carolina, he is 5-0 with a 126 goals against average and a 961 save percentage. Look, Carolina's got to stay out of the penalty box, obviously. But you're not going to against Florida. What you can't do is get drawn into their mess. No post-whistle shenanigans from the Hurricanes tonight. You do have to make life more difficult on Sergei Bobrovsky, and you really need to get the puck behind Florida's defense. Put them to the test. Put them under stress. Neither team really did that in game number 1. But Carolina has to do it in order to win. Florida is deep, they are talented, and they've got a Hall of Famer right now on their third line in Brad Marchand, who is second on the team in scoring. That's right, Marchand, who barely played the rest of the season after being acquired by the Panthers from the Bruins, but did play late, did play very well early in the playoffs, and now has the line with Anton Lundell and Eetu Luostarinen cooking. And I don't want to use Trip Tracy's phrase, but Carolina has to be able to counter with their bottom 6. So that means that guys like Roslovic and Hall and Stankoven have to be dangerous offensively and cash in when the situation arises. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll give you to Mike and Trip on the other side after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile.
Oh, look at this. And we got Jose and Tom here, too. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon for our Playoff Pulse campaign. This evening, whatever time it is where you're watching from. We appreciate you being here. Now's the time of the show. Please check the link that's pinned in the chat, as well as in the description. That's going to take you to our homepage at SickKids Hospital in Toronto, where you can add your donation to our Playoff Pulse campaign or share that link out and politely ask people to help you raise money for SickKids Hospital with Toronto Sports Insider and TSI Tom. You got anything to say there before you go to school, Tom?
Well, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. We'll see you back in the chat. Thank you for making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Every single one of you. Much appreciated.
Cheers, insiders and sports fans from around the world. The Playoff Pulse campaign on Toronto Sports Insider is uniting fans worldwide through the thrill of NHL and NBA playoffs. Every game, every fan, every moment counts.
Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies. Without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
It's game day for your Canes. Presented by John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan.
Welcome inside Lenovo Center. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. Carolina versus Florida. The Panthers coming off of a 5-2 win on Tuesday. The Hurricanes trying to level the series before we head down to Sunrise. Hello, everyone. Alongside Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on your Carolina Hurricanes radio network. And Trip, tonight, if you're Carolina, is there one key thing that they have to focus on, or at least one thing in your mind they have to be better than what they were on Tuesday?
Stay out of the box unless absolutely necessary to take a penalty. Create more sustained offensive zone possession. And you'd love to see early success that'll allow the hands, now that you're into the early rhythm of the series, allow your skill to flourish and most importantly finish.
Well, we'll see if the Canes can get to that. As they drop the puck, and here we go. Game 2 underway. And a late scratch was Jalen Chatfield. The Canes defenseman took the warm-up skate, but left. So the Canes have almost the same lineup. We'll get to it right now as Mikko Mikkola carries the puck in the Canes zone. He's knocked off. And now Martinook takes a hit to make a play to get it up for Stahl. Burns wants to clear. It's congested along the left wing boards in the Canes zone as 35 seconds have gone by here in this opening period. Slavin wants to clear it. He'll get it out to the captain, and Jordan Stahl will bank this one off the boards, and Carolina can make changes. Seth Jones will rim this one back around the Canes zone, and following suit will be Florida. Orlov looks to clear. He'll give it away to Tkachuk. His spinning drive misses everything, kept in by Ekblad. Now behind the net it goes. Chasing after it's Walker. Sam Bennett to it. Behind the net, it's Carter Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe had a monstrous power play goal for Florida in game number 1 when it looked like the Canes penalty kill was doing the job. Now Andrei Svechnikov trying to clear, kept in. Florida with a chance, and they score! First shot of the game, and the former Cane farmhand, Gustav Forsling, makes it 1-0.
Carolina right now, Mike, has no answer for the aggressive nature of the pinches from the Florida defense at the Carolina blue line. Was hoping that you'd survive it and then talk about how to counter with the way those pinches are coming. But after they kept a puck in a couple of times, Forsling was reloading after they controlled the wall on the bench side in the Carolina zone and beat Frederik Andersen halfway up on the glove side, which has been the glove side their most popular shot location.
Well, for Forsling, it is his first of this postseason. And he has turned into quite the defenseman for Paul Maurice. Now Carolina again with trouble clearing. There's a shot from the left point. Was knocked away. Ekblad keeps it in. He'll try the right point. That'll be deflected, and Carolina can finally clear. Into the Panthers zone. Skating with it. Nice move to knock it away, but it comes back for Slavin. Slavin to Hall. Hall's shot. That'll be knocked down, and trying to center it here, Roslovic. He'll get it back to the blue line. Slavin tried to tip it over for Burns, but a little too far. In Florida in possession. Luosterainen will roll it into the Kane zone. Now Burns tries to feed a pass through the needle for Robinson, but that'll be deflected away. Mikkola will send it behind the net. Pass is knocked out and misses everybody. It'll cross the Canes blue line, and Jackson Blake with it. Blake gains center ice. He'll flip this in deep. He'll go after it. Blake's got a shove for Kulikov. Mark Jankowski. He's back in the lineup for Carolina. He missed the last 5 games. And 3 games played this postseason. He is back in the lineup tonight in for Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Jankowski with the puck now. He tries the shot to get it through. That'll be deflected away and all the way back into the Kane zone.
Mike, I think with Florida's pinches, you have to be willing to go up the middle of the ice defensively. Passes on the tape or the high flip that Carolina's used.
Now a massive hit delivered in the corner. Carolina with a chance out in front. Martinook couldn't get the deflection to it. Martinook had the hit on Mikkola. Now this one is deflected into the crowd, and a lucky fan from Lake Waccamaw has got an early souvenir.
That's a good sign. More to come on Lake Waccamaw. Martinook got in with contact below the goal line, caused a turnover, then went to the front of the net, just missed on a tip. Just to elaborate on my point, it's going to be tough with the way those Florida pinches are coming to advance the puck on the wall. You have to be willing to go up the middle where there's no margin for error.
Carolina will keep this one in. Carry a sharp angle, and saves made Bobrovsky. This one will be kept in, and a chance from Burns doesn't make its way through. And worked out by Evan Rodriguez. Rodriguez will bank this one off the end boards to the right of Anderson. Anderson makes a nifty backhand play, but Carolina can't clear. Forsling tees it up. That's blocked out in the right circle for Carolina. Orlov got a skateboot to it. Now a chance for Florida to rim this one back in. They will. Ekblad worked around for Orlov. Orlov will play it for Burns. He's watched there by Barkov. This will be given away. Tkachuk centered out in front, and a good defensive play by Martinook. Hustling back. He denies that offering.
He's been their best player. That's a tough turnover from Svechnikov.
And it was Verhaeghe that Martinook got in the way of. Now Aho with it. Back for Slavin. His shot, and that'll be caught and hung on to by Bobrovsky.
Svechnikov, who's had a tough start, goes at Tkachuk first and then Bennett. Maybe that can lock him into the game. Slavin was not the intended passing recipient from Aho. It was Jarvis. It missed, but Slavin followed up. You want to be able to test the hands of Bobrovsky. Very few circumstances, I think, call for a low shot in this game, Mike. Test those hands. And at times, Slavin went after the corner. You might catch him overreaching, catch him between the arm and the body.
Aho will take this draw. It'll be chipped back behind the net. Nate Schmidt for Florida will clear it out. Center ice. Lundell will get to it, but it'll chip it into the Canes bench, and that will stop play with 15:47 remaining in the first. 1-0 Panthers lead on their only shot of the game from Gus Forsling.
It's the second time that a linesman has been hit with a puck in this young hockey game. Ryan Daisy there. Earlier, it actually led to Burns when you said he tried to thread the needle with a transition pass. So difficult, when there's so little room out there for these referees to get out of the way.
Play resumes, and Carolina will work this one into the Florida zone. Hall does a good job of getting it free, but his pass rode the boards and got past Walker all the way back down for Anderson. He'll play it for Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere, he'll move it neatly. And Mikkola finishes his man, Stankoven, right in front of the Florida bench.
Has Mikkola been the best defenseman on either team so far in this still young series? Heck of a hit there. Clean one, good one.
That's pretty big, and now here comes Florida in with a backhand try, and that is deflected away. Luosterainen comes up with that chance. Now Hall with it. Hall down the left wing boards into the Florida zone. And the Panthers will come up with a loose puck, and Hall will head to the bench. Panthers will work this into the Kane zone. Jonah Gadjevich, he'll lose it to the corner. Jankowski wants to get it free. It'll be chopped to the other side. From the left wing to the right wing boards by Florida. Kane's trying to clear. It finds its way to the slot, and then a Hurricane stick will knock that one over the blue line. That was Orlov. And now Florida in control with 14:30 left here in the opening period.
Perfectly played 2-on-1 by Walker. Pass initially, got a piece of the shot.
Now Robinson with it into the Florida zone. And he'll go low to high. Slavin, he's been active. Sent behind the net. Schmidt can't handle it. Blake wants to get to it, but that'll be knocked away. And Florida clears it as far as center. Reinhart has it bounce on him. And Carolina will deflect this one in off of Martinook. Bobrovsky comes out of his crease to play it away from Stahl. Martinook waves at it. He'll get it back to the captain behind the net. Looking for room. Off the boards for Slavin at the left point. Back for Stahl. Pass a little too far. Now it bounces out in front. Bobrovsky held the post. Carrier was trying to feed that one all the way back into his own zone. Goes Slavin.
Stahl, if he could have just, oh boy, mid-ice collision here. Martinook is down. I think it was Martinook and Tkachuk. Now Martinook heads to the bench.
It was Martinook and Tkachuk. Tkachuk stays on the ice. And Florida has the puck behind their own net. Now they'll start their breakout. Tkachuk will wave this one in. Anderson will play it quickly off the boards and back out. Svechnikov with it. He'll backhand one that goes diagonal into the corner. Mikola's given a shove. Worked back out, and now with some speed, it's Verhaeghe. Into the Kane zone. He'll stop. Orlov will paw him away. Burns. He sees a hit coming from Marchand. He'll step into that one. Verhaeghe wants to settle it down. Can't do it. Carolina wants to escape. Aho with it. He'll deflect it into the Florida zone. Tipped in on Bobrovsky. Mikula hit again. This time it's Svechnikov. And Svechnikov lines up Luosterainen. Bouncing puck in the Florida zone. Top of the right circle, and the Panthers control it, but Lundell can't reach it. And now Gostisbehere with it for Carolina. He wanted to go deep with it, but Luosterainen got enough of it. Now he'll keep this into the Kane zone, and a shot doesn't get through. And off the stick of it to Luosterainen.
Another puck off an official. Third one.
Now Hall. He's got Roslovic with him. He'll send it back for Hall. He locates Stankoven. We're making some 3-foot passes. Now Orlov with a dipsy-do move around Luosterainen. Back for Gostisbehere. Back to Orlov. His shot. Bobrovsky sees it and will make the save. 12:01 remaining here in the first period. The Canes starting to get some momentum, but the Panthers are in the lead. It's 1-0 Florida here in the first period. You're listening to Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything's possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
12:01 left in the first. Got a bit of a note to pass along for you as Florida has a 1-0 lead on their only shot of the game. First shot of the game, 73 playoff games this year. 13th time the first shot of the game has gone in for a team this postseason.
That's wild. And what I can tell you, not just the shot, the puck handle where Anderson was a little hesitant. This is the most adversity by far he's faced in his playoff run. And we've always talked about that he just moves on and lives in the present. That is never more critical than it is right now in the Carolina net.
Well, we'll see if Carolina can tie this one up in the future. With 11:50 to go here. Hopefully the not too distant future Trip. He's Trip Tracy.
Where's the Duran when you need it? Wasn't that Cara Duran?
DeLorean.
DeLorean, that's right. I'm thinking of the band.
Yes, you are. Well, hopefully this thing sees 88 quickly. You've seen the movie, you know the rest of the line. As Carolina will chip this one back behind the Florida net. Nate Schmidt banks it off the glass and out. Nice play made by Slavin, but he pawed it down. And now we're going to get a whistle behind the play, and they'll say that Carolina didn't exit the zone fast enough. So 11:21 left here in the first with Florida up 1-0.
Those are the tight gaps that you need. Slavin had a nice gap, turned a puck over with his hand in the neutral zone. So he's the only guy, if he plays it with his hand, that can then touch it next. But he was waiting for a tag up from Martinuk to occur. And he couldn't wait as long as he wanted to, so it's offside, and the officials are going to rule intent. So this draw will come all the way back to the Carolina zone. Mike, as significant of a facet as there is in this series, can Carolina deal? I've mentioned it, these Florida pinches. If they can, they're going to get some 2-on-1s out of it.
Face-off was pushed into the corner to the left of Anderson. Carolina able to clear Jones as it bounce away, but then his second chance, he'll chip it back into the Hurricane zone. And Orlov has to take a heavy hit there from Verhaeghe, who was looking to play Orlov and not the puck. Aho with it now, watched by Sam Bennett. Able to clear, back into the Canes end. Good play made there by Walker. He clears it out, but Flores, Jones rings it all the way around from the near to the far boards. And a chance for Carolina. Moving right to left on your radio dial. iPhone, iPad, or whatever other device you're consuming this game on. And we appreciate you joining us here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. 10.5 to go here in this first period. Florida with it, turning with it. Luosterainen, and that'll be deflected. And a fan from Cary will get one. That's nothing exotic about that locale Trip.
Florida, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. They are a well-oiled machine right now. And I think Carolina has shown some semblances of finding it. But the critical piece is that you don't force trying to find it, because this team, Florida, when they smell blood,
they attack. And there was a chance right there for Luosterainen, and Slavin got a piece. Anderson got the rest, and now Carolina does break it out. Hall cuts to the middle of the ice, drops it back. Stankoven's shot. Save is made by Bobrovsky. Rebound still available on the high slot. Roslovic can't get to it. It comes to the left wing board. Slavin takes a hit, makes a play, has his stick grabbed by Luosterainen, but Carolina continuing to play in the corner to the right of Bobrovsky. Now Slavin with it. He dances, and his shot will be snagged and hung on to by Bobrovsky.
Hopefully that's a building block. You dealt with the aggressive Florida pinch. You came up the ice with numbers. Stankoven's shot unfortunately hit Roslovic in front, but that's a building block.
9:54 left in the first. It's a 1-0 Florida Panthers lead here in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to Hurricanes Playoff Hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center.
The Canes win at home during the playoffs. Download the Chick-fil-A app to claim your offer for a free chicken sandwich by midnight. Available at participating Greater Triangle area restaurants. Canes would love to get everybody a chicken sandwich tomorrow, but trailing right now 1-0 to Florida. A little bit more than halfway through the first period alongside Trip Tracy.
Tell you what, if they get one off of this face-off, I'll go jump in the lake at your earlier mentioned Lake Wakama.
Lake Wakama.
Wakama.
They will welcome you at Wakama. But it's Florida who wins the draw. They'll rim it behind their net. Carolina will come up with it, and we'll get a hand pass against the Canes. Hit a couple of bodies, but that'll bring the draw outside the Florida blue line.
There's the physical dimension, but then there's the mental dimension because, truthfully, in comparison to the Devils and the Caps, there is so little room. Even when you come up with pucks in the offensive zone, it's so tough to get any type of penetration. But that's where you just have to stick with it, shift to shift, and get even more mentally determined and not force what's not there.
It's basically you're holding up a mirror to these teams with what they want to do. In Florida, they now know what they need to do to win in these kind of games. The Canes have continued to get to this point. As this puck is sent into the Florida zone. Wrapped around the corner, but Reinhart will get to it. He'll bounce one into the Canes end. Burns. And flip that one out quickly. And he's Jarvis. Roll it back into the Canes end for Slavin.
Sure seems like Carolina has played essentially 5 defensemen so far. That's what I do.
Now here's Svechnikov. His shot doesn't get through, but that stung Mikkola. He's going to stay on the ice, though. Bennett, he'll hand this one off. Florida into the zone. Reinhart wants to make a play. That's Verhaeghe, rather. Behind the net, Verhaeghe tries to find Tkachuk. He plays it back right point for Jones. His shot misses everything. Verhaeghe goes after it, but Carolina can skate this one, and they'll clear the blue line, but scooped up by Bennett. Right back in, but Walker takes it away from Verhaeghe. 8.5 remaining in the first period. Svechnikov given a hard shove. Mikkola backhands one behind the net, stepping out with it. Verhaeghe with a chance, and he's knocked down, and they'll score. Carter Verhaeghe behind the net with a strong move, wings it through Frederik Andersen, and it's 2-0 Florida with 8:19 left here in the first.
Again, keeping a puck in aggressively, you got to consider. I can't believe I'm saying it, but you've got it's Tkachuk who gets the goal. And the wraparound, Anderson was lost when the puck was below the goal line. This is where I think you genuinely have to think about going to Kochetkov. A D-to-D pass did not work because Bennett was right on the spot anticipating it. Mikkola with a great pinch. Verhaeghe behind the net. Anderson goes to one post. Verhaeghe wings it at the front of the net. Actually goes off of Tkachuk's skate and into the net. It's a bounce. Another really good pinch. And Tkachuk got to the net first. If he doesn't get to the net first and win the box out, maybe you don't get that bounce. These pinches, they're from Mikkola and going right back down low, Mike. That contact from Bennett, but the pinches especially, the Hurricanes have no answer for him at the moment.
And that's why they find themselves in a 2-0 hole here with 8:11 to go in the first period. Matthew Tkachuk, his fourth, with the heavy lifting done by Carter Verhaeghe. And the Canes are in some yogurt here early. There's Forsling. He'll keep it in. He'll get it to Luosterainen. His shot blocked before it can find its way to Anderson. Kept in by Ekblad. That's tipped out in front. Save made by Anderson, and he'll hang on.
Okay, that's hopefully a positive moment. Some stuff after the whistle here. Marchand and company. Carolina just has to move on to the next puck drop, period. Anderson looked more comfortable there on that initial, whether he got a piece of the Luosterainen shot with his blocker and then the tip chance, and he holds on. Because I feel he's searching right now. And he has to search and find, because we know how stingy Florida is. We know how well Bobrovsky's playing. It just, I'll say it again, with these pinches from the Florida defense, including Mikkola on the second goal, you're going to have to find a way to go up the middle, in my opinion, in your own end for exits.
Face off to the left of Frederik Andersen. Jankowski draws it back, and the Canes will clear. Jankowski gets a stick to it at his blue line. When it's knocked back in, Greer can't handle it. And Carolina tries to find some room in the Florida end. And as Blake backhands one in, but Kulikov comes up with it. Good play by Blake, though. As Kulikov looked to exit, couldn't do it. Sent back behind the net. Schmidt will give it away along the left wing boards. And then it'll be dug out by Gadjevich. That forces Morrow back to his blue line. Morrow wanted to find Robinson. He's making a change, and Florida tried to catch Carolina with too many men, but that doesn't happen. And now the Canes will work this one back to the Florida blue line, but Reinhart bodies up on Martinook and sent the other way. It's Barkov. Alexander Barkov, watched by Burns. And a couple of outstanding veterans. That will draw the attention of the Canes captain, Jordan Stahl. Tries to push this one through Sam Reinhart, and he does, but Mikola's waiting there, and this will be deflected off the stick of Martinook into the Florida bench. And that will stop things with 6:48 left here in the first. A 2-0 Florida Panther lead over Carolina.
You know what, Big Rick? We are seeing a clinical approach to how you play defense. You know what that is? That you try to spend as much time playing offense as possible.
Yeah.
You know, there is just, with those pinches, there Mikkola right at the center red line, there's just no room. And you think about how much more offense that creates, but it makes you spend infinitely less time playing defense.
Now, that is one of the hallmarks of Carolina when you talk about puck possession. Now Aho with it as Carolina gets this puck into the Florida zone. It'll bounce away from Svechnikov. He'll take a hit from Tkachuk. This puck bounces off of the official. And Slavin wants to keep it in, but that deflects off of Tkachuk all the way back into the Kane zone. And Verhaeghe watches Burns. Tonight's officials, Dan O'Rourke and Eric Furlat. And as Carolina can play this one in. Svechnikov got a piece, then Aho finishes Mikkola in the corner. Puck still free. Now Mikkola returns the shoulder for the Kane centerman, and a puck works its way to the left circle. Jones tried to boot it halfway there, and then it'll be kicked out. Gostisbehere with it. We go across the rink for Walker, and penalty is coming up. Roughing's the call in Carolina. He is going to be a man down.
Carolina, minor penalty, 37, roughing.
Yeah, I understand it requires a lot of calm, but when Tkachuk does Tkachuk things, you cannot retaliate. I'm going to talk more about Svechnikov, who takes the penalty, when we come back from the commercial break.
5:53 left in the first, and the Canes penalty killers will be taking center stage with Carolina trailing Florida 2-0. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Final here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Earn 4 times the fuel points when you shop today through Tuesday. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen.
Where in the world are you watching from? Thanks for hanging out with us today, this morning, this evening, middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from all over the world. Now's the time of the show. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let us know your city and province in there, city and state if you're in the USA, or all over the world. Send those flag emojis out and let's see where the world is gathering from. Hanging out together, making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Thank you for being here. Just by being here, you're making a difference. With every view, it calculates into our donation as we do a percentage every single month.
Where in the world are you watching from? Now's the time to show for you to let us know where you're watching from in that chat or by visiting our new live viewers website. Holy Mackinac! As we are passing 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider, the playoff pulse is a global force. Visit TorontoSportsInsider.com to see our live viewer map and where fans are cheering from right across the globe. While you're there, check out our awesome new website and fresh merch options. Let's keep growing this global community.
You know who their best player was in the first? Martinook. He's been again tonight.
Well, Reinhart takes himself out of the play, and Orlov will get this puck free. Kane shorthanded. Aho looking for Jarvis. It goes behind the net. Jarvis will get to it for a moment, but Barkov comes all the way back to help out his netminder and put this on the tape of Tkachuk. Florida will change up their power play unit with 55 seconds left in the roughing penalty to Andrei Svechnikov. Now a chance here for Evan Rodriguez. He is stood up at the Canes blue line by Orlov and Stahl, and now Stahl and Orlov can have a 2-on-1. Stahl coming in, drags, drops back, Martinook shot, low drive, saved by Bobrovsky, and the rebound just eludes Stahl. Coming back the other way, it's Rodriguez. He waits, he draws, that's blocked. Oh, an excellent play made there by Sean Walker. Puck still in the Kane zone. Verhaeghe drags. Another block there. This time Martinook. Another chance. And this time Verhaeghe will score. He's stuck with it and goes to the far post. And with 17 seconds left on the penalty kill, it'll be a power play goal for Carter Verhaeghe. And Florida is up 3-0.
Really, it was a 3-on-1 and Martinook's chance. Martinook having been Carolina's best player. It was Stahl and Orlov. Orlov was well back-checked, and so Stahl goes to Martinook. Martinook had time, I think, to hold on to the puck against the challenging Bobrovsky. Challenged him low. There was nothing there. Great save. Then Martinook comes up with a big block on Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe gets the puck retrieval. You've got a net front. He wires it. I don't know if Bennett got a piece of it or not, but his stick was in the vicinity. What could have been 2-1 is now 3-0. Mike, truthfully, in this hole, the way Kochetkov has played against Bobrovsky in his career, just to change things up, I'm thinking very strongly about going to Kochetkov right now.
Now there's less than 4 minutes remaining here in the first. As Carolina's just trying to get any traction here. Robinson will knife this one into the Florida zone. Behind the net it goes. Blake, he got clipped with a high stick, no call. He'll come up with a puck though. He works his way across for Morrow. Morrow, he chips one that goes just wide to the left of Bobrovsky's net. And the rebound is banked off the boards by Greer in the Kane zone, and they're going to call icing already on this one with 3:31 left in this first period, so bring the draw back into the Florida zone.
This is just me, because you're down 3-0. You got to change things up. You were down 3-0 in Game 5, and Kochetkov, who was the starting goaltender, this against New Jersey, and found a way eventually to be one better than Jacob Markstrom, who was brilliant. I just, based upon the score, changing things up, his history against Bobrovsky in particular, I'd be thinking about it.
Let's see, right now, 3.5 remaining in this opening period. Another icing here on Florida. Canes are just thinking, can they get a little bit of that late period magic that they had in game number 1 out of Sebastian Aho when he scored with 16 seconds left?
Well, now that I've mentioned my opinion on the goaltending position, Svechnikov, Tkachuk is an enticer. They've been going at it the entire period. No matter what he does, should he have gotten a penalty himself, you cannot retaliate. Period. End of story. You have that shorthanded chance, and then the net front. Florida's had net front on their power play. Yep. Bennett was the guy who scored with net front in game 1. Had the net front from Verhaeghe there.
And now this puck is sent into the Cane zone, where Florida will keep it. Played around the board. Zach Blad was looking. Reflect that one on the back door. Lundell missed it. And Carolina will make a move. Roslovic will drop it for Hall. Hall gets it back to Roslovic. He angles it for Orlov, but Orlov can't keep it in. And the Canes have to tag up Burns. He'll rim this one all the way back in the Florida zone. That allows the Canes to make a change. And as on the ice comes the Aho line. This one gets past Forsling, and hustling after it is Ekblad. That'll be icing on Carolina. 2:38 left here in the first period. 3-0 Florida in the lead over Carolina.
I don't know if I've ever seen an opponent that has an insatiable appetite on the road. When you score, you don't get satisfied in the least. You just get better. You score again. You get the save that you needed from Bobrovsky, from Martinook, and they just keep pressing.
And they have given the Florida goal on the power play to Sam Bennett. Good eyes by you, partner. As Bennett got the piece on the Verhaeghe drive. And that's his 8th of this postseason. Now Seth Jones lost the handle, and offside are Florida with 2:20 remaining here in the first.
This is right about the time where Carolina down 3-0 to New Jersey in game 5 in the first period. Drew a power play. They carry it over in the second period. You and I were on television at the time. We said, well, they need it. They need this power play, and then based on how good they've been in second periods, they could put 4 on the board. They did. Different animal.
Yeah.
That is an animal. The Devil's not an animal. Panther is. But they've done it before.
As Carolina will clear this one. And this will be icing. Although the New Jersey Devil is a swamp creature. I'm trying to draw any correlation.
No, I'm just saying different animal.
I'm trying to draw a correlation to get it going.
They've done it before.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, Florida's been significantly better in this period.
Yes.
It's that simple. You didn't want to take any unnecessary penalties. You didn't. By the way, Svechnikov, before he took that penalty, one of the few times you've had time. It was he and Mikkola. Mikkola's 6'6", but you can't have that shot blocked.
Yeah.
Get it around him, especially on the short side. Use him as a screen. Make Bobrovsky make a save. That was about 15-20 seconds. That was actually 15-20 seconds before Tkachuk's goal. So 1-0 at the time. These are the little moments.
Yeah. Well, Carolina needs to find a way to create a moment here.
There's a little bit of a delay because off of icing, Carolina trying to make a change or two, and you know, referees do a heck of a job of recognizing with all that they have on their plate in real time, you know, who's on the ice when a team's guilty of icing the puck.
I think they finally got it sorted out. As Logan Stankoven will head to the bench. Good job here by Carolina. Marchand has a stick for Martinook on the way to getting their position around the face-off dot to the right of Frederik Andersen. And Hall will clear that, and then he's taken down by Schmidt at center ice. And after he had cleared the puck, to make the case, I guess the puck was there. And Carolina will send this back into the Panther zone. And working to come up with the turnover is Stankoven, but he'll jump over his stick, and Florida works their way back only as far as the Canes' blue line. Marchand gives it away to Orlov. Lundell has it bounced, but Carolina able to knock it into the Florida zone. Forsling comes back to play it. He'll clear it out. Only as far as over the blue line. And now a penalty coming up to Florida here. And we'll see if history repeats itself as too many men on the ice for the Panthers.
Yeah, it's that broken stick that causes it. Eric Furlat signals the too many men infraction, and boy, would you ever love to see history repeat itself. Forsling had broken his stick, then two guys came onto the ice, two Florida defensemen. And Stankoven, I believe, had the puck, yes, right at the Florida blue line along the bench. So that ends up being advantageous that he did that. Makes the too many men situation that much more obvious. Same spot as you had that power play against New Jersey in Game 5, down 3-0.
Well, if the Hurricanes put the biscuit in the basket on the power play tonight, you get a free Bowberry biscuit at participating Bojangles tomorrow morning. Bojangles, it's bow time.
But Florida's taking a long time deciding who's going to serve it, and Tkachuk eventually comes across the ice.
So Tkachuk to serve. And the Canes power play will try to come up with a puck, and they will. Goss to spare. He'll get this to Jarvis along the boards. Now Blake. Ekblad bothers him. Barkov will get to the loose puck thanks to Ekblad, and he'll send this into the Cane zone. There is more time left in the penalty than what's in the period, so we'll keep you apprised of the game clock. Carolina 10 for 36 on the man advantage this postseason. They went 1 for 4 in game number 1. And now behind the net, Aho and Bobrovsky got tied up. And Florida's able to push this one over the blue line. And there's 47 seconds left in the period.
Big hit, Ekblad on Blake. Blake was slow to get up.
Now Goss to spare. Trying to get it going. Luosterainen able to play it into the corner, but Forsling can't handle it. Back to the left point for Goss to spare. He works this one across. Set up there, it was Jarvis. Now back for Goss to spare. He'll hand it Aho. He'll send it down low. Jarvis wants to find Blake. It'll roll back. Jarvis plays it back for Aho. As they go low to high. Now Goss to spare exchanges with Aho. 17 seconds left. Jarvis tries a one-timer and fans on it, hits the heel. Kept in by Carolina. 10 seconds left in the period. Goss to spare. He'll send it all the way across the rink. It's Svechnikov. Goss to spare, lets it go. That's blocked, deflected to the corner. One more try with 1 second left, and the horn goes, and the first period expires. Carolina will have 33 seconds left on the power play to start the second.
Huge block from Nosek up high. And the Goss to spare one-timer. Mike, this is the most important intermission coming up in that locker room. And I don't think it's the coach that delivers the message. I think it's your core group, it's your leadership. Because, hey, give major credit to the Stanley Cup champions. But the Florida Panthers are in the heads of the Carolina Hurricanes. This has to be, I think, a players-only intermission to try to resettle your game, knowing you've had a 4-goal second period in these playoffs, down 3-0 before.
Well, that is what's coming up. Adam Gold will have the intermission report. Florida strikes for 3 in the first period. And they have built a 3-0 lead here in Game 2 of this Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
With over 200 stores to shop, where can you find everything you're looking for all in one place? Crabtree, the go-to premier shopping and dining destination in the Southeast. Shop Allen Edmonds, Altered State, Banana Republic, Brahmin, Brooks Brothers, Chubby's, Coach, H&M, Lego, Lululemon, Michael Kors, Tag Heuer, Tommy Bahama, and so many more. Shop your favorites, discover something new, then relax and dine. All at one convenient destination. Crabtree.
Enjoying the game? Hempy's can help. Hempy's is North Carolina's favorite hemp and CBD shop, and as long as you order before 9 p.m., local same-day delivery is absolutely free. Hempy's products are made with clean, natural ingredients, and each product is lab-tested to ensure quality and safety. Visit hempys.co to check out the inventory. And remember, orders placed before 9 p.m. get free same-day delivery. Or you can always stop by one of their 8 locations in North Carolina. Must be 21 or older to order. That's hempys.co.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center on the Lenovo Intermission Report, brought to you by Lenovo, official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. We have reached the point in this game, if not this series, where the Hurricanes have to find something within themselves to put themselves on level footing with the Florida Panthers. It is 3-0 Florida, and honestly, it probably is worse than that. Carolina just had a power play. They still have 33 seconds left of it, where they rarely got the puck below the tops of the faceoff circles. Florida has been that good, but the Carolina Hurricanes have just helped out too much. First goal of the game comes courtesy of an Andrei Svechnikov turnover. It ends up on the stick of Gustav Forsling after a pass from Matthew Tkachuk. Right between the hash marks, he beats Freddie Anderson 1-0. A little bit later on, a pass across the front of the crease in front of Anderson. He doesn't do anything to deflect the puck away. Sean Walker reaches for the puck rather than mark his man, Tkachuk, at the side of the goal. Easy tap in, 2-0. Svechnikov takes a bad penalty, a roughing on Tkachuk, and ultimately, while he's in the box, after a couple of really good shot blocks by Sean Walker, Carter Verhaeghe skates over to the other side of the ice with the puck. He shoots. It's deflected by Sam Bennett. His first goal of the game, and the Hurricanes are staring at a 3-0 deficit with 40 minutes left to play. All right, they'll have to regroup. I heard what Trip Tracy said. It's going to have to be a players-only intermission, but this was about as bad as it gets for Carolina. Let's see what they can do in the second period. We'll come back and listen to highlights next.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
3-0 Panthers after one. I am Adam Gold. This is the Lenovo Intermission Report. We will get to highlights brought to you by Kia. 1-0 Florida at this juncture. Logan Stankoven, great opportunity to tie the game.
Slavin got a piece. Anderson got the rest, and now Carolina does break it out. Hall cuts to the middle of the ice, drops it back. Stankoven shot. Save is made by Bobrovsky. Rebound still available in the high slot. Roslovic can't get to it. It comes to the left wing board. Slavin takes a hit, makes a play, has his stick grabbed by Luosterainen, but Carolina continuing to play in the corner to the right of Bobrovsky. Now Slavin with it. He dances, and a shot will be snagged and hung on to by Bobrovsky.
Good sequence for Carolina there. It's now 2-0. Florida on the power play as Andrei Svechnikov was in the box for roughing. And this is really the best sequence of the entire game for Carolina.
But now Stahl and Orlov can have a 2-on-1. Stahl coming in. Drags, drops back. Martinic shot. Low drive saved by Bobrovsky. And the rebound just eludes Stahl. Coming back the other way, it's Rodriguez. He waits. He draws. That's blocked. Oh, an excellent play made there by Sean Walker. Puck still in the Kane zone. Verhaeghe drags. Another block there. This time Martinic. Another chance. And this time Verhaeghe will score. He's stuck with it and goes to the far post. And with 17 seconds left on the penalty kill, it'll be a power play goal for Carter Verhaeghe. And Florida is up 3-0.
Yeah, the shot was deflected by Sam Bennett, so it's his goal. Verhaeghe did definitely stick with it. Sean Walker, Jordan Martinook, yeoman's work blocking shots. Carolina on the power play late. Didn't work out for him, and we'll leave it right there. When we come back, we will talk to Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com content maestro, and get his take on the first 20 minutes. Next.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Inside Lenovo Center, 3-0. Favor of the Florida Panthers. Game 2. Florida with a 1-0 lead in the series. I am Adam Gold. Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, content maestro, wizard of the keyboards. Sir, sayer of words. Any good ones for the first 20 minutes?
Selfishly, I'm glad I'm up here with you as opposed to being in that home locker room right now.
It's a nice tie, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That's my biggest takeaway of the first period. I dig the tie.
I appreciate that. Someone's snapping in that locker room right now. I don't know who. We heard it was Aho Game 5, Round 1, after they went down 3-0 in the first period to New Jersey, right?
Yeah, right.
Someone's losing it right now.
It's not the head coach. He's not in there.
No,
he's out. He's not in the locker room right now. Tough period for Andre.
Oh, doesn't get much tougher.
About as bad as it's been all year.
Turnover on the first goal, turnover on the second goal, in the box on the third goal.
Yeah.
That's the wrong hat trick.
Right, and actually had turnover in between those two that Jordan Martinook bailed him out on Matthew Tkachuk.
Great play on Martinook.
Yeah. Martinook, for somebody who's clearly not 100%,
right,
has been he's been a plus player, not in the stat sheet,
right,
but he has been good. Denied, shorthanded. Best sequence of the entire game for Carolina was right before Florida made it 3-0.
Yep.
Jordan Stahl just couldn't get to that rebound in front.
That's the way it goes, right? I mean, big save by Bobrovsky down at one end of the ice. That's the way it goes. Same thing as game 1. We saw Shane Gostisbehere send Jonah Gadjevich swimming. Good opportunity. 30 seconds later, it's in your own net. The game moves quick. Florida plays with tremendous pace. They unquestionably have killer instinct.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't help but think that it's not fair, but for all the times we talk about Sebastian Aho's unwillingness to shoot the puck, I don't know that Florida has a whole heck of a lot of guys like that.
None.
They have some killers.
No, they have guys like Carter Verhaeghe who just knows how to score goals, right?
Tremendous finisher.
He was with Tampa.
Got lost in that organization, right?
They
spent a lot
basically
of time
let him go. Just go.
Yep.
Go ahead. Go be a 30-goal scorer downstate. Florida's got those guys, and then you add not only the player, but the impact in other ways of Brad Marchand, right? At the deadline, that's who you bring in.
Yep. Didn't cost him a whole heck of a lot either.
Well,
I know he kind of forced his hand.
It's going to end up being a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Right? But still.
For that player, who doesn't make that deal?
And why wouldn't Florida re-sign him?
That's going to be a fascinating topic this summer, where he winds up.
I don't think he's going back to Boston.
I don't think so either.
So, and Seth Jones, I don't even know who's made an impact on the defensive side for Florida because Carolina hasn't spent enough time in their end.
Didn't need to.
Unreal. Freddie Anderson. It's hard to hang any of them on him, right?
Guys in front of him just making awful decisions. It's tough. I didn't even, on this second goal, I didn't love the attempted breakout pass from Sean Walker. It leads to play going right back into the zone. And then that's where Andre tries to get it out, doesn't get out. The guys on the TNT broadcast were talking about, do you maybe turn to Kochetkov? The problem is we've seen this team come back down from 3 before.
Right.
So they're not totally out of it, but they're going to need something there.
All right. They're not totally out of it, but Florida, to me, is what Tampa was at their best, which is as good, maybe the best team at playing with a lead as there is in the league right now. They don't have to score anymore. They could just lock it down right now. Because I remember when Carolina was trying to beat Tampa, and I think the last game of that series in 21 was 1-0, and Tampa just went, we got enough. We're good. We'll just shut it down.
No argument from me.
Still a nice tie.
Thank you.
Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, Content Maestro, Wizard of the Keyboards. We don't have any other scores, but I will dig into numbers. So we'll do an NHL scoreboard after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
He's setting up the play at Penn Station East Coast Subs. Can I get a 6-inch hot grilled Italian sub? He shoots. Should I grab a bag of chips?
Nope. All our subs come with fresh cut fries.
He scores! Everybody wins at Penn Station East Coast Subs with hot grilled subs for pickup or delivery. Fresh cut fries. 5 convenient triangle locations. You're set up for a great meal any day when you do it the Penn Station way. Check out the menu and order online today at penn-station.com.
What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you could choose one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon, with big bank reliability and small bank resolve. You get 160 years of financial strength and stability and an enduring commitment to personal service. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank. Visit firsthorizon.com/getitall.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center. It is 3-0 Florida. After 20 minutes, Carolina will have 33 seconds of a power play when we resume play. Power play couldn't get below the tops of the faceoff circles, really, with the puck in the first minute 27 they had. We'll see if they can do something on fresh ice to open the period. And frankly, they got to get something going. 3-0 down against Florida. The stat is the Panthers have not lost a game when they lead either after 1 or after 2 in the playoffs. They do not have any losses in this situation. Carolina's got a steep hill to climb, and it really has to start with just playing better. Forget about goals at this point. You just have to get the puck and get to your game at some point. And so far, Carolina's not. If we look at the numbers, the Panthers have more shot attempts. They have more shots on goal. I mean, Carolina's only got 3. And obviously more scoring chances as well. If the Hurricanes do put the biscuit in the basket on the power play, you can get a free Bowberry biscuit at participating Bojangles tomorrow morning. Bojangles, it's bow time. Mike and Tripp will have the second period. Canes looking for something good. I'm Adam Gold. See you after 40.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese, I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Earn 4 times the fuel points when you shop today through Tuesday. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Welcome back inside Lenovo Center. Carolina trailing Florida 3-0 after 20 minutes, but there are 33 seconds left on a power play for the Hurricanes to start the second period. Along with Trip Tracy, I'm Mike Maniscalco, our technical tandem. John Brockwell here in the booth with us. Rusty Helzer back in master control in Raleigh. All right, Trip, we need it to be deja vu all over again for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what happened in that 4-goal second period? You didn't score on the remainder of this power play, but you generated momentum and you scored right after. Just like I'm telling you, you've lost 13 consecutive games in the Eastern Conference Final dating back to 2009. Usually the fourth win's the hardest. Against these Florida Panthers, the first win is going to be the hardest. And it's the same thing here. The first goal is going to be the hardest. You've got to find a way to get it.
Well, the Canes win the draw. They'll deflect this in, but they're going to say it missed everybody, so an auspicious start. It'll be an icing on Carolina and bring the draw all the way back into the Hurricane zone.
I think Florida, Tkachuk's in the box. I still don't know how he served that too many men because he wasn't on the ice. The backup goaltender, Vanacek, sits across the ice. Looks to me that they're down a guy. I thought Sam Reinhart might have been injured late in the first period. Just keep an eye on that. It looks to me when I count the numbers on the bench that even with Tkachuk in the box, they are down a player.
We'll pay attention as Tomas Nosek with a great play in the middle of the rink to take this one away from Andrei Svechnikov. And now 9 seconds left on this Canes power play. Jarvis with it, crosses center ice. And he will get a helping blade from Jackson Blake. Out of the box comes Tkachuk. But the Canes keep the puck in the Florida zone. Long second period change. Burns banks one off the boards, but too far for his teammates. Not too far for Carter Verhaeghe, who gets it to Ekblad, now Forsman. Now this will be deflected out in front. Oh, he scores! Carolina gets a bounce! And Sebastian Aho gets some life here in Lenovo Center. The Canes on the board.
Great call, Mike. I'm trying to throw out the vibe to see if it marinates. Florida thought they had a puck out. Carolina causes a turnover. Aho got Bobrovsky moving, and the heel of his stick low was not square. He was over-challenging. That's why it was low. Burns just kept it in. I mean, barely kept it in. Stick on puck on Tkachuk. Aho was reloading, and Bobrovsky, they're going to challenge for offside. I think Florida is. It was really close. I think they're calling a timeout to take a real look at it.
Timeout.
Like Carolina did on that offside challenge in Game 5 in Washington. Burns reached out with his stick, used his reach, went right on the puck on Tkachuk's stick at the Florida blue line. Did he keep it in? It's tough to tell from the looks we've been afforded. And if Paul Maurice is calling his timeout, he's just not sure. It's a loud building.
Yep.
Sometimes that plays a part because you have earpieces, usually one of your assistant coaches.
I do have a serious question from one of the angles we just looked at. If Matthew Tkachuk knocked it back in the zone, does Sebastian Aho have to clear?
They are challenging, so
We're
now
offside on the blue line.
now we can dive into it.
Yeah.
If he knocks the puck back into his own end, even with Burns' pressure, yes, that can make what would be offside onside. Does Burns touch? They have to determine if Burns touched the puck. For the first time seeing the blue line cam, Burns' stick initially was behind Tkachuk's stick. They have to make a determination if the tape, because it's offside, did Burns touch the puck after he reached out and went really stick on stick? Did he contact the puck after? It's tough to tell. Now, if it's tough to tell and it's inconclusive, that means they would go back to the call on the ice. They're about to come up with their decision. I feel like this could go either way.
Wait and see as the linesmen go across the rink, and Eric Furlat with the
After
explanation.
Florida coach's challenge, the play were ruled to be offside. Therefore, there is no goal in the play.
Good use of the timeout by the Florida coaching staff. I'm sure they knew it was offside, but they did not know if Burns, in fact, touched the puck. You were right. If Tkachuk had knocked that puck back into his own end and Burns never touched it, even though the puck exited the Florida zone, it would have been onside. Tough break.
Well, we'll see if Carolina can at least get some momentum off of that as they had Florida on their heels here in this first minute of the second period. And as play resumes, and the Panthers will track this one all the way back into the Kane zone. Mikkola will play it down for A.J. Greer. Behind the net it goes, and Carolina can work this back into the Panther zone. Good work by Stahl. Now an intercept comes up there by Carrier. He finds Martinook. He'll swat it to Stahl behind the net. Lundell trying to move Stahl off the puck. Can't do it. Martinook will find it along the left wing boards. Jones and Carrier meet behind the net. Stahl will come up with a puck, turning on Mikkola. Work back along the boards. Walker dives in to keep it. Carrier. He and Jones met for it for a moment. Florida looks to clear, can't do it. Nice play by Walker. Hands it, and his little shot is deflected just wide. There was some heat on that one as it went just to the left of Bobrovsky's net.
And again, I believe that Sam Reinhart is not available, so just 11 forwards for Florida, some different combinations.
Now Roslovic with it. Around the boards, Orlov for Gostisbehere. Back to Orlov at the left point. Now Hall, he shuttles one through. Save made Bobrovsky. Rebound was there for Roslovic, but getting a piece of that one was Seth Jones to knock it over the glass into the netting.
Good challenge like we saw in Game 5 in Washington, and the use of the timeout. Now Florida does not have a timeout available. If Carolina can continue pushing here, because this is no question their best segment of the game, Walker absorbed a pretty darn clean, heavy hit from Greer, who scored in the second period Tuesday night as he was cut into the middle of the ice in the high slot to shoot the puck.
A face-off here now to the left of Sergei Bobrovsky. Florida wins it. Forsling will get it forward. Then Tkachuk will knock it into the Kane zone, and Slavin, having none of him, knocks him off the puck, and Burns is able to move it up. Svechnikov now connects with Slavin. Slavin's pass for Jarvis. He was denied entry, but he'll get a second chance, and that'll be deflected. A good stick there by Verhaeghe. Aho wants to take it away from Forsling. Second chance, though, and Gustav Forsling gets us into the Kane zone. Now Verhaeghe. Swat at one. Bennett will come up with it. Back in front for Verhaeghe, and that's fenced just wide. And you just give Florida an inch, and they find a way to get it to the net. Now Carolina with some offensive zone time. Svechnikov will give Gus Forsling a shove. Aho tries to one-hand this one back out for Gostisbehere, but Verhaeghe gets this one to Rodriguez, wrapped all the way around in the Kane zone. Barkov watched by Gostisbehere. 16:35 left here in the second period, and This puck is iced by Carolina. Face-off coming back into the Canes end.
Even though the goal comes off the board, does that give Aho confidence against the stellar nature of Bobrovsky? He made a good read. I know it doesn't end up counting because Bobrovsky loves to challenge. When you challenge, you've got to skate. When you skate, you've got to open up your legs. Does it give him confidence? He just had another pretty good shift. Svechnikov's got to get his game in order to what it was in the first 2 rounds.
And the Canes need to get something going here. As Florida loses this puck. Now Aho finds Martinuk. Pass was just a little behind, but now back into the Florida zone. Aho will settle it down. Across for Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere plays it around Rodriguez, but Gadjevich does a good job to knock Gostisbehere off the rest of the puck. Now Florida in transition. They'll be offside. 16:09 remaining here in this second period. A 3-0 Panthers lead over the Hurricanes.
Master the obvious point, but that's a big loss, Sam Reinhart.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we don't know the significance of it. This is a guy that was brought in from Buffalo for the specific targeted reason to complement Alexander Barkov. Approached free agency last year, had an unbelievable goal-scoring year, one of the top guys in hockey, and then into the playoffs. So that's a big loss.
And he followed it up this year, Trip, after the big contract with 39 goals and 42 assists in the regular season. As Carolina will ice the puck here. 16:02 remaining in the second. Reinhart, a big part of Florida's offense. So let's see if we get word on what's going on with Sam. As this face-off to the right of Frederik Andersen. And that'll be Lundell spinning it back. Seth Jones dives in. Shot right on. Andersen makes the save on the short side. Jones, he'll drop the rebound there for Lundell. Watched by Roslovic along the far boards. And Marchand trying to spin away from Morrow. Marchand's shot doesn't get through. Blocked by Roslovic. Up the boards, but cut off by Marchand. Marchand, he'll get it back to Jones at the right point. Across for Mikkola. Left point. Andersen makes the save, and he's off his skates. Orlov with a good job sealing the puck behind the net. Morrow coming to help out. Morrow plays this one forward, and Carolina will watch Florida make a change. And Stankoven with it.
Florida's best shift of the period from the Lundell line.
Now Roslovic sees Ekblad coming. He'll get it in deep, and Stankoven giving up a lot of height to Mikkola. Shoves him into the boards, but Florida will get the puck. Mikkola will dump this into the corner to the left of Andersen. Bennett cuts it off along the boards. Carolina looking to clear. They'll sweep it out. Now hustling with it is Slavin. Slavin with a backhand that goes through the blue paint. And Florida clears, not out. Jankowski with a long drive. Save made by Bobrovsky. Slavin takes a hit to keep it in for Blake. Blake wants to keep this one in the Florida zone. Opposite corner. Schmidt was sealed off. Blake will get to it. Good play here by Jackson Blake. And getting physical there on Nate Schmidt. The loose puck is popped free to Sam Bennett. And now Bennett wants it back. Bennett, he'll drop it for Schmidt. Schmidt's shot, and Andersen gets a piece.
Florida is going right to the front of the net. Lundell had contact with Andersen. Bennett, as he dropped it to Schmidt, he had some contact with Andersen. It's what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams are trying to do it.
6 minutes gone by here in the second period. 3-0 Florida in the lead. Nosek with it. Nosek's drive bounces off a leg. Barkov will come up with it. Going to be knocked away from Barkov. Carolina will flip this off the glass, not out. Forsling with a good play to keep it in. And he goes deep with it. Gostisbehere with a better play to clear it. And then it'll be deflected off of Aho, so no icing. 13:35 left here in the second. 3-0 Panthers lead, all their goals in the first period. Canes thought they got on the board, but Sebastian Aho's goal was waved off as Carolina was offside. Now Ekblad, he'll get this in deep. Aho tries to chip it around Rodriguez. Second chance he does. Ekblad waits for it. He'll throw it back in the Cane zone. Trip, the one thing that amazes me about Florida is They don't mind. They'll take icings. They'll chip pucks here and there just to make the play. But then you look up and they find a way to attack you when you think that they're going to make a play like that. As here's an example now. Lundell gets this one across Marchand. Great stick by Orlov. Marchand still throws one on Anderson with a save. Now a chance. Lundell tries the short side, and Anderson makes the save, hugging the left post.
They typically don't change their game whether they're up or down, but Carolina's already taken chances.
Luosterainen puts a shot right on, and that'll be caught and hung on to by Anderson. And then Luosterainen has a little bit of a shove there at the end. As the refs say, all right, none of that. With 12:38 left here in the second period. Carolina's got some life, but they got to get on the board, trailing the Panthers 3-0 here. Almost halfway through the second period. It's the Eastern Conference final coverage on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hockey is a game of speed, and the Triangle is one of the fastest growing regions in the country. At the center of the excitement are Lenovo and the Carolina Hurricanes, partnering to unveil the Lenovo Center. With one of its global headquarters in the Triangle, Lenovo is the perfect partner to launch a new era of technology and fun. Don't miss out. Come check out the Lenovo Center and cheer on the Canes.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
12:38 remaining here in the second period. Carolina trailing Florida 3-0. Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on your Hurricanes Radio Network in Game 2 of this Eastern Conference Final.
Thank you to the Florida Panthers. They have announced that Sam Reinhart, lower body injury, will not return. So if you can claw your way back into this thing, again, not knowing the severity and his importance to this very deep hockey club, for one of their kingpins, without question. You can claw back into this game. The fact that they are playing with 11 forwards and will for the majority of the game, that can become a definite asset, especially for a team that has played as much hockey as them.
Now Kachuk got it to Bennett, but that's blocked. And this will be a lane for Stankoven. He'll send it into the Florida zone. Bobrovsky plays it up for Kachuk. Kachuk has it knocked away. Mikko Mikkola. Use that big frame to get it up. Now Verhaeghe with it. Verhaeghe. Flip this one in the corner. Mikkola behind the net for Kachuk. Back for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe in the right circle behind the net. Kachuk. Matthew Kachuk hanging on to the puck. Get it back for Schmidt inside the blue line. Across for Jones. Long second period change, so Florida trying to hem Carolina in. Schmidt bounces it behind the net. He'll get it right back. At the top of the left circle, Schmidt hands it off for Verhaeghe. His drive kicked away by Anderson. Bennett plays it back for Verhaeghe out in front. Gadjevich got a piece, but Anderson got more.
Stankoven got a piece on Gadjevich right as he was shooting the puck. We might, again, if you can claw back into the game, remember that play from Logan Stankoven at the very last second, probably saved a goal.
Schmidt takes up residency behind his net. He'll bank this one off the boards. Morrow, watched by Gadjevich. He'll play it along the boards for Martinook. Martinook, his aerial flip was knocked down. He'll get a second chance to put it on the tape of Robinson. Great stick by Forsling, but he'll put Florida offside as he knocked it back on the other side of the Canes blue line.
You asked me the question about, Florida, and what makes them special at this point? Well, I'm going to choose to talk about the moments, whether it be a bounce, the bounce off of Tkachuk's skate on the 2-0 goal, or a successful coach's challenge. When they have those moments, and those moments through the first half of this game and in game one, those moments have gone their way. But to their immense credit, being on the right side of those moments, they usually take advantage of them right after the fact and resettle or get back to their game.
Now Carolina will play this one up for Blake, but he doesn't get to it. And this will be icing on the Canes with 10:48 left here in a second period that has Florida on top 3-0.
A lot of icing so far in this game and in this series. And, you know, the Hurricanes just have not had the sustained ability, puck situations at the offensive blue line to get pucks deep, get in with speed, and start to locate anything approaching a sustained forecheck that they are so well known for.
Face off to the right of Frederik Andersen. Barkov wins it back, and that'll be hung on to as Kulikov stepped into that, and Andersen flashes the leather there. Another face-off in the Kane zone.
Anderson's looked better in this second period. You know, he knows that he can't give up a fourth goal if you have any sights on doing something special in the second half of this thing, approaching and tying this game. But he looks more comfortable in this second period than in the previous 4 periods to me.
Now Barkov will lose that draw. Carolina will bank it up the boards, but not out. Barkov looks for Verhaeghe. Burns swipes at it. Rodriguez will keep it in. Off of Burns, though. And he used his beard to knock it down and hands it back for Slavin behind the net. Now Slavin looking for some room. 10:20 to go here in the second period. Burns for Martinook. He'll deflect it in. No icing, so that forces Bobrovsky out of his net to play it. Bothered there. Carrier along the boards. Will Carrier. He'll tie up a couple of Panthers. Stahl comes in to help out. And Slavin will fish it free. And Barkov does a really good job of knocking that puck over the blue line. Carolina will change halfway through this contest in the second period.
Systematically, Carolina's a different opponent for Florida than Toronto was, than Tampa was. That's what Paul Maurice talked about, icing here to Florida. That's what he talked about after their Game 1 victory. And they've created on puck battles a bunch of situations. Barkov just was part of it there, where they've created in the trenches numbers on their side. And for me, that's getting comfortable with how Carolina plays systematically in comparison to a lot of teams have similarities, but some significant departures in the way Toronto plays and Tampa previous to that.
Carolina wins the offensive zone draw. Orlov to Gostisbehere. That shot was deflected. It goes off of Jarvis. Canes look to keep in, but Marchand able to spin that one out to center ice. Gostisbehere hustling. He got it up to Jarvis, but knocked back into the Kane zone. Work for Orlov. He'll gain center ice. Bobrovsky. He'll play it for Schmidt. It'll be kept in by Aho. Trying to find Svechnikov. Just off of his tape. Marchand trying to clear. Can't do it. Second opportunity, though. Finds Kulikov, and he will roll this one around the Kane zone.
Get back to being a shot volume team. Credit to Florida for their blocks, but through halfway, you have 5 shots on goal if you're Carolina. When's the last time you had 5 shots in 30 minutes of a game?
It'll be hard-pressed for me to come up with the answer. As the Canes try to get this one through, but knocked away, and Bennett will just chip this in deep. Jarvis goes to get it. Up the boards. Not out. Kept in by Florida. Greer has it. Left point. He'll drive down the left wing. His shot kicked away by Andersen. Now Bennett will lay the body to Jarvis. Chance for Forsling. He'll keep it in. Second chance. He'll knock it deep, but Jarvis, who's taking a couple of hits here on this shift, will get a stick to it, but knock this one out of play. And we'll get a whistle with 8:26 remaining in the second period in a 3-0 Florida Panther lead. You are listening to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything's possible. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
8:26 left here in the second period at Lenovo Center. Carolina trailing Florida 3-0 here in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. Alongside Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here, and the Canes are doing some good things, Trip, but you pointed something out that would be jarring to most Canes fans. Shots on goal, 11-5 in favor of Florida. That we are past the halfway point of this game, and the Canes only have 5 shots on Sergei Bobrovsky.
All teams try. They strive to play the same game, whether they're up in the game, tied in the game, or down in the game. When I look at this second period, I see the Hurricanes, and there have been a bunch of icings because of it. They're trying to stretch the ice. They've got to come up the ice as a group. That's a product of being down 3-0.
Florida wins the draw, and a shot wide of Anderson's net. Carolina will clear it, but Tkachuk comes all the way back to get it. He'll play it up for Nosek, but that's defended neatly. Carolina will bat it back into the Florida zone.
And we see a different line here. Carrier with Aho and Jarvis. Yeah, that's a tweak. It hasn't been Svechnikov's night.
Now Jarvis gets it back to Burns. His shot right on. Save made by Bobrovsky. Rebound scooped up. Jarvis will get to it. He finds Aho in the slot. Bennett gets the stick to knock that away. That is a solid defensive play by Sam Bennett.
I don't know if you can speak enough about Florida's sticks defensively from both their defensemen and their forwards in this series.
Carolina looking to keep this in as they get the puck back into the Florida zone. Martinook, he goes from the near to the far boards for Orlov. Orlov jumps in to keep it in. Stankoven locates it behind the net. Stankoven draws out in front. Rebound, Martinook, save made Bobrovsky. Canes will keep it in. Walker, Martinook lets it go. That's deflected out in front. Bobrovsky makes the save. Martinook, he'll play this one into the corner. Walker wants to keep it in. In Florida, Bennett is just going to ice this one. No, they're going to wave it off.
Boy, he made sure to try to avoid the icing situation because fatigue would have been a big issue. Rodriguez came up with a big block there too.
Now Stankoven pushes his way into the Florida zone. But Mikkola is able to knock it and get a little help to clear. As this one is pawed down. And there's Evan Rodriguez into the Cane zone. Ian Verhaeghe interchange. Save made by Anderson. Rebound spits out, but Carolina can clear it. And things opening up a little bit here with 6:25 left in the second period.
Gone is a checking line, down 3-0. So now you have Stahl with Hall and Svechnikov. This needs to be a heavy line.
And the Canes will keep it in. Hall. He goes rink wide. Slavin shot. That's blocked by Barkov. Barkov will get to the rebound. He'll play it to Jones. Jones up the board. Rodriguez has given a shove. Hall will keep it in. And it'll be knocked away. And skating with it is Mikkola. That's something you pointed to, partner, how these defensemen for Florida, sometimes to the chagrin of Paul Maurice, jump in on the play and can carry the puck.
I think Mikkola so far has been the best defenseman in this series. Carolina's, now they're showing signs of starting to build something. Let's see if they can continue.
And they got to get something, you would think, hand pass here for Carolina with 5:37 left in the second period. Canes trailing 3-0, but They got a little something going. Can they get on the board? It's game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final from Raleigh. And you're listening to it here on the Hurricanes Radio Network on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, what time it is, wherever you're watching from all over the world. Now that we have your attention, please help us continue to grow this amazing community. We are over 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and we want to keep climbing all the way up to 250, all the way up to 1 million. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button and helping us grow this awesome community. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single game of the Eastern and Western Conference Finals for both the NBA and the NHL as part of our Playoff Pulse campaign.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Joe Bowen here, voice of the Leafs. Holy Mackinac, we've passed 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider. The Playoff Pulse campaign is unstoppable. Let's aim even higher. Subscribe now and join this amazing community making a difference. Together, we're showing SickKids the power of sports fans worldwide. Let's keep growing this global community.
Hey you, yeah you, Easton Cowan, Leafs prospect here. I'm loving these Playoff Pulse live hangouts. Subscribe and turn on the bell to catch every game. Keep the chat buzzing and let's cheer for SickKids together. See you in the chat.
Carolina will clear Mikkola, though. You're right, Tripp. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, you can just see. The 6'6" guy that can skate. You can see just how he's overflowing with confidence. He joins the rush. His skating ability allows him to tight turn and get close to being the first guy back.
A chance for Florida to work this into the Kane zone. Marchand, though, loses it. Svechnikov bounced it away, and now Carolina through center ice. Roslovic, he'll get it to Svechnikov, and that'll be blocked away by Bobrovsky.
That was a good release. Svechnikov's best release of the night. Quality blocker save there from Bobrovsky. He wasn't moving. He was set. He was challenging, but not moving like he was on the Aho goal. No goal after the fact.
Now Carolina will be offside as Stahl wanted to carry it in, and Stankoven got in just a second early.
Hall did a good job at his own blue line to go to Roslovic. Roslovic went right to the outside to Svechnikov, and Bobrovsky recognized that shooting was the only option. Ekblad was coming at Andre right as he was releasing with stick on puck. The fact that Ekblad was suspended for the end of the regular season, the first couple games of the playoffs. Once they survived it without him, it's a fresh Aaron Ekblad. Had a goal in game 1. He's fresh.
Carolina will win this. And they will direct the puck deep into the Florida zone, but Panthers trying to move it out. Kulikov has it taken away by Stankoven. Along the boards. And this will be chipped out to the Canes line. Settled down by Burns. Burns plays away from Rodriguez. Stankoven rips it around the boards away from Barkov. Stahl plays it away from Schmidt for Stankoven. Stankoven will leave this one back. Slavin wanted to get it to Stahl, but Nate Schmidt intercepted. And now Florida hustling after the puck. Greer drops it back. Shot right on. Save made by Anderson as Rodriguez had the chance. Now Martinook takes the diagonal pass. He'll drop this one off the boards. Trying to find Aho. A little too far. Forsling will come up with it. His pass for Tkachuk. Back for Bennett. Bennett tries the short side. Anderson is able to steer that one away. And then Jarvis had a hard shove for Bennett afterwards. Now Jarvis with a loose puck. Jarvis around Ekblad. Jarvis trying to go across, and it's defended by Forsling. What a beautiful play as Jarvis thought he had it. And now this one is kept in by Carolina. At the left point, second chance, Jarvis reaches for it. Ekblad will clear. And this one will pounce past Orlov.
What a remarkable play from Forsling. Jarvis, he's a righty on the left side of the ice. I would have loved to have seen him shoot that puck, especially when you only have 7 on the board in the game.
Carrier wanted to center it for Blake, but Mikkola had other intentions. Now Marchand, he'll lose it to Gostisbehere. Canes, they'll chip this one out to center ice. Lundell turns, he'll lose it. Going to be cleared in by Walker. Robinson on the forecheck. He's trying to get after it. Mikkola plays it for Jones. Jones airmails this one over Jankowski's head, but Gostisbehere to it for Walker. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the second period. The Florida lead stands at 3-0. The way we entered this frame. And now the Panthers will dump this into the Kane zone. Gadjevich pestering Orlov. Orlov able to find Morrow. Morrow wanted to go cross ice, but Greer with the intercept. Had to wait for Gadjevich to get onside. Greer coming in. He'll take it away from Morrow. A.J. Greer works it back. Nate Schmidt with a long drive. Anderson with traffic in front makes the save. And now Carolina works it out for Morrow. Morrow drops it for Robinson. Morrow gets it right back. Tries to center it for Jankowski. And he couldn't make the play. Now Morrow had another chance to settle it down, but Florida groups around the Canes defenseman. Loose puck kept in by Svechnikov.
Kulikov got a piece of that passing attempt, so first the play on Jarvis from Forsling, and there Kulikov on Morrow.
Now Roslovic with it. Roslovic sidesteps Kulikov. To the point it goes. Gadjevich, though, able to clear it away from Nosek. 1:15 left here. Burns' stick breaks on him as he tries to clear it, but makes a nice play with a hand. Then Hall wipes out at center ice, and Tkachuk will come up with the puck. Drops it for Bennett. Tkachuk. He'll circle the Canes net. Matthew Tkachuk back for Forsling. He'll get it to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe's shot as Burns still doesn't have a stick. Now he'll get one from Roslovic. Now Burns. He's got Roslovic's stick, but Carolina still down some equipment. Ekblad inside the Canes blue line. This shot gets through. A chance for Luce to read it out in front, and they'll score. He throws it across, and Bennett knocks it home, and it's 4-0 Florida with 39 seconds left here in the second period.
That whole sequence began because Taylor Hall in the neutral zone felt footsteps coming from a physical Matthew Tkachuk. That's why he blew the wheel. He knew that hit was coming. So instead of advancing the puck, you're back deep in your own end. Burns had lost his stick, had made a heck of a play actually clearing the puck with his hand after he lost his stick. And eventually, Verhaeghe, who has been outstanding, uses the back of the net like he did on Tkachuk's goal, powers to the front of the net. Bennett gets there first. He beats Burns, who had Roslovic's stick. It's a right-handed stick, but it's a shorter stick. Bennett gets there first and extends the lead late. But it all goes back to Tkachuk's physical presence on Hall in the neutral zone, in my opinion.
As there's now 25 seconds left in the period. Carolina will bat this into the Florida zone. Stahl waves at it, but Luosterainen is able to get to it, clear it out over the Florida blue line. 12 seconds left here in the second period for Bennett. He's got 2 goals tonight. And he is tied Mikko Rantanen for the most goals in this NHL postseason right now with 9. And the second period comes to a close. And the Raleigh faithful are nonplussed so far through 40 minutes.
As you take us to the intermission and Adam Gold, Mike, I thought Carolina had some looks in this period. Had Aho's goal stood, could you be in a different spot with what momentum you might have gained from it? Possibly. But that's hockey. It comes down to moments. I thought this period was a living, breathing example of how differently you play when you're chasing the game versus when it's tied or even a 1-goal game. Carolina tried to stretch the ice repeatedly. That's not their brand of hockey. It's understandable, when you have a big hill to climb. Yep. They still had some moments where a looked like they might get some sustained attack going. And Florida, to their credit, Stanley Cup champs, they nipped it right in the bud. And I think there were a variety of occasions with just 7 shots on net. Florida only has 15 with their 4 goals. Shots have been hard to come by, where you had an opportunity to get back to the shot volume team that's been debated, but I feel with great conviction is very important to Carolina's sequencing when it comes to offense.
We got to get to an intermission, and I only want to hear Barney Fife say nip it in the bud. We'll see if Adam Gold will add anything to this. I'm sure he will. 40 minutes in the books, partner. 4-0 Florida on top of the Carolina Hurricanes. Adam Gold with your second intermission report coming up here on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. The owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Quality you can afford. What do you mean by that?
Well, isn't that great? That's
It's great. I like that
So
as a motto.
we have customers all the time that call us out for windows, and they don't think they can do all of them at once. And you don't have to. We have 18 months zero interest financing. We have all kinds of plans, actually. So whatever your budget is, if you're putting off windows because you don't think you can do it now, call us out and let us at least price it for you and give you some options of how we can make it easier.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore, with a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends. Omega is the gift for every adventurer. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Voted best jeweler. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center. It is 4-0 Florida after 2 periods. Hurricanes have 7 shots on goal through 40 minutes. 7. Hurricanes lead the NHL in shots on goal per game. They lead the NHL in shot attempts per game. And in attempts, they have 27. They have been out-attempted by Florida 42-27. The Canes just so far do not have it. And it's a game where they had to have it. And it really speaks, I understand how it's going to be looked at. It really speaks just how good the Florida Panthers are. So if you want to appreciate greatness. But Carolina looked like they had a goal early on inside the first, 51 seconds. Sebastian Aho looked like he had picked up a loose puck in the offensive zone. Well, he had. And he scored in between the pads of Bobrovsky to make it 3-1. But Florida called a timeout, looked at the replay, realized that the puck had come outside the zone, and Brent Burns was the impetus for its return into the zone. And once they determined that, they challenged it for offside. They won the challenge, and the Hurricanes had some good opportunities the rest of the way. Seth Jarvis had a good chance. Jordan Martinook had a good chance in tight. There was a great play from Scott Morrow to Mark Jankowski in the slot, but Jankowski couldn't handle it. And the Hurricanes are now 4 goals down with 20 minutes to play. We could probably see an extended period of time to Scott Morrow in the third period. We'll come back. We'll listen to highlights. There are highlights next.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese.
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center, 4-0 Panthers. We go right to highlights. I mentioned Sebastian Aho scored a goal past Sergei Bobrovsky, but was the puck offside?
Now this will be deflected out in front. Aho! He scores! Carolina gets a bounce! And Sebastian Aho gets some life here in Lenovo Center. The Canes on the board.
Florida coach's challenge. The play was ruled to be offside, therefore there is no goal in the play.
Yeah, no goal. Jordan Martinook had a great opportunity.
Stankoven draws out in front. Rebound. Martinook save made Bobrovsky. Canes will keep it in. Walker. Martinook lets it go. That's deflected out in front. Bobrovsky makes the save.
Seth Jarvis had a chance.
Now Jarvis with a loose puck. Jarvis around Ekblad. Jarvis trying to go across, and it's defended by Forsling. What a beautiful play as Jarvis thought he had it.
Yeah, I thought he had William Carrier on the backside. We'll take a break. We come back. Greg Wyshynski of ESPN will join us, and we'll talk about 40 minutes of this next.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, happy lunch hour, whatever time it is, wherever you are watching from. Thank you for hanging out with us today for the NHL and NBA playoffs here on TSI during part of our Playoff Pulse campaign, where we benefit SickKids Hospital every single game in Toronto. Now that you're here, please hit that like button and share this link out. That is the best way for you to increase the donation and bring more hockey fans and basketball fans here to the chat. Thank you for taking a second to do those easy YouTube things like hitting that thumbs up or thumbs down if you can't stand it and you think that I'm annoying for coming in here and telling you that you're making a difference in our Toronto community. It's all good. We'll see you back in the chat. Good luck to your team.
This is what Playoff Pulse is all about. Bringing playoff excitement and making a lasting impact for those who need it most. So let's rally together and show SickKids we're in their corner.
Hey everyone, Easton Cowan here. Let's amplify our impact. Every like, share, and subscribe boost our donations to SickKids. Watch the games, get hyped, and spread the word to grow our Playoff Pulse community. Join us now.
To every child and family who've needed us since 1875, and all who support us, our hospital needs no introduction. But just in case, it's SickKids. And it's our 150th birthday. Our mission has always been healthier children, a better world. The first children's hospital in Canada, SickKids. Pasteurizing milk to prevent disease 30 years before it was mandatory. The heart-lung machine that transformed open heart surgery. A pediatric kidney transplant in 1969. SickKids, SickKids, and SickKids. We discovered the gene for cystic fibrosis, so patients live longer lives. And we just created the world's first Atlas of Cancer, using machine learning to analyze 13,000 variations. Today, the hospital sees over 130,000 patients a year. We're a research powerhouse, a training magnet, attracting nearly 600 clinical and research fellows from around the globe every year. And we're the #1 publicly funded children's hospital in the world. We're celebrating 150 years of excellence, driven by philanthropy. What's next? Thanks to donors like you, we're going to keep healing Canada and the world, and we're going to heal the future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you. Thank you for supporting SickKids. Cut.
Thank you for helping us save kids' lives.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being... Thank you.
He took the chance on the coach's challenge. If he's wrong, that's a 3-1 game and a power play to Carolina with a chance to really turn this thing around. Lickety-split. Didn't happen. I got to tell you, man, listen, I'm not here all the time. I'm an interloper. I'm here for the playoffs. Hearing Carolina fans chanting, "Shoot the puck" to the Hurricane, to the Hurricanes. Yeah. It's like being in the Twilight Zone. I don't know what the hell's going on. But that's indicative of what's happened here, which is there's so much hesitation that's crept into their game.
Yes.
You know, to hear the fans chant "shoot the puck," and then you look down and they get a chance right by Bob, and they don't, and they overpass.
Yep.
They're in their own heads. They're getting away from their game. Those great moments where we saw them churn in the offensive zone against Washington for 90 seconds to then get a goal. That has not happened in 2 games so far.
And it speaks to why a lot of people thought Carolina could get here. I thought Carolina could get to the conference finals because even at full strength, I think they're better than New Jersey. And Washington, they had a great year, but they were finished by the time we got to the playoffs. Montreal could have had a better fate in that series. It came back in the 3rd period of Game 1. And, I know how it's going to be. Carolina's going to have to deal with all the things. People like you, right? And I'm not criticizing it at all. They deserve it. They have shown that right now, this is where they are. And to get to where Florida is, which is where Carolina is, where they want to be, is going to take a lot.
It is going to take a lot. And, Florida's just on another level right now. Again, part of the losing streak they have in the conference final is the opponents that they've played. Bobrovsky twice, Vasilevsky, Shesterkin twice, Bruins twice. There is something to be said for quality of opponent, and nobody is better than Florida right now.
Yeah, they're the best team, maybe by a lot. If this doesn't turn around, not tonight, but the series, I hope they go and win another cup.
Yeah.
I love Paul Maurice. And I'm a huge fan of Greg Wyshynski, ESPN.com. I thank you very much. Honored that you'd come and grace us.
Let's do it again at Game 5.
Oh, I love that. I love that. All right, we'll take a check of the NHL scoreboard. There are no scores. After these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Enjoying the game? Hempy's can help. Hempy's is North Carolina's favorite hemp and CBD shop, and as long as you order before 9 p.m., local same-day delivery is absolutely free. Hempy's products are made with clean, natural ingredients, and each product is lab-tested to ensure quality and safety. Visit hempys.co to check out the inventory. And remember, orders placed before 9 p.m. get free same-day delivery. Or you can always stop by one of their 8 locations in North Carolina. Must be 21 or older to order. That's hempys.co.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center. It is 4-0 Florida. We have 20 minutes to go. Hurricanes, remember, they led the NHL in shots per game. They led the NHL in shot attempts per game, and they're getting none of that. tonight. Florida has been next level great. This is why they are the defending Stanley Cup champions. And in a game where everybody knew Carolina had to put their best performance on the ice, the Florida Panthers have seen to it the other way. Sebastian Aho, he had the goal, and then it was off because it was offside. And Carolina never recovered from that. But honestly, I'm not even sure that they really deserved that play, although Brent Burns did make a good play on that. And you do wonder if Carolina's going to make some more line changes in the third period. Looked like Will Carrier was playing with Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho late in the second period. Svechnikov had joined Hall and Roslovic on another line. But I think Carolina is beyond those situations right now. Try to set something up well for game number 3 on Saturday. I'm Adam Gold. Mike and Trip will have the third period. I'll see you after the game.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1-3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center. We get ready to start the third period here in game number 2. Carolina trailing Florida 4-0 in a goaltending change for Rod Brindamore and the Hurricanes as Pyotr Kochetkov makes his Eastern Conference final debut this year, taking over for Frederik Andersen as the Canes look for a spark here, down by 4 goals. Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on your Hurricanes Radio Network.
Yeah, I mentioned I would have gone to Pyotr Kochetkov earlier in this game, but thinking about a couple of things, Mike. As well as he's played against Bobrovsky, how he looks in this third period, and thinking back to the first round of the Stanley Cup year, Gerber went in games 1 and started game 2. You went to Cam Ward, you lost in overtime, and then you know what you did on the road going to Ward down 2-0. I'm going to really watch Kochetkov closely, especially how well he's played against Bobrovsky, to see how he looks.
As the third period's underway, Florida will come out with it. Jones crosses center ice. He'll wind this one into the Canes' end, but that'll be scooped up and cleared out by Slavin. He'll get it to Aho. Carrier takes a bump from Tkachuk. And will bounce off of that and flip a backhand in that Bobrovsky has a little mishandle with. Jarvis to Aho. Back to the point. Burns chops his shot, and Bobrovsky sees it and makes the save.
And these reconfigured lines continue. Aho and Tkachuk going at one another, and you know, I know these types of things are going to happen in a 4-0 game, but I want to see a commitment for the rest of this series, whether it be Tkachuk, anybody. No conversation whatsoever. None. Aho finishing that shift with Carrier and Jarvis. And now Stahl with Martinook and Stankoven that started the playoffs together.
Face off to the left of Bobrovsky. Stankoven will come up with a puck. He tries to fire one at the net. It goes off of Martinook's skates and Nosek to it. Again, Florida down a forward. Sam Reinhart left the game with a lower body concern. He will not return for the rest of the night. As Nosek couldn't get to it, Stahl can. His shot goes wide. Chance for Orlov. That hits Martinook in the back of the leg as he was camped in front of Bobrovsky. And now a chance to clear. And a drive put right on, and Kochetkov will make the save on the Tomas Nosek offering.
The reason I'm looking at him closely now, because I remember Game 2 against Montreal. And at that time, Gerber was fighting the puck. There were some rumblings that he was sick. And Carolina came back in that game. It was Michael Ryder that scored in overtime, and I was all in at that point to go to Cam Ward in Game 3 down 2-0 on the road. That's why I want to watch him closely, because you and I both know he won a big game in Florida back in January. Again, has always risen to the occasion against Bobrovsky, just when you're looking to change something.
A 3-1 win for Carolina back in January in Florida. As Carolina down 4-0 here in Game 2. Schmidt with a drive as Florida wins the faceoff, and Kochetkov sees it and will hang on.
The other thing is, people may sit there and think a goalie coming in, situation like this, there's a lot of pressure. No, there's none. This is not his situation here. He's coming in, it's no risk, it's all reward. Oftentimes you see, like say Cam Ward did, you see guys flourish in this circumstance.
Face off to the right of Kochetkov. Florida wins it. They'll get it around the net. And fight for it. Orlov in the corner. This puck will pop out. Marchand with an offering out in front. Goes off of a couple of legs. Marchand will get right back to it. And along the boards. Moves to Ryan and helps it around, but Taylor Hall will get to it. Chopped at his former Boston teammate, Marchand, but Carolina will get to it. Orlov wanted to find Svechnikov. A little in between there. Orlov was going to fire it around, and he saw Svechnikov at his step, but icing on Carolina.
That was the night for those two guys.
Yep.
That was the night. Svechnikov thought he was going to dump the puck in. Pass was off the mark. Would have led to a decent chance with speed.
That'll bring up an offensive zone draw for Florida. Nosek against Roslovic. Nosek comes up with it. His shot misses everything. Around the boards, and Carolina can clear. Svechnikov lumberjacks that one back into the Florida zone. And now it's cleared back into the Hurricanes end. Kochetkov leaves it for Burns, who sidesteps a heavy hit. And now Carolina will clear this in, but this will be icing on the Hurricanes. And that was A.J. Greer who was going to try to line up Brent Burns, but the veteran felt the heat coming and got out of the kitchen.
Yeah, they may put this puck here in this drop in the neutral zone. You know what, Mike? I'd love to see Carolina get the first one and see where it takes them here in this game. But, let's look at it. Game 2, New Jersey, not a great start.
Nope.
Game 5 against New Jersey, not a great start. Game 3 against Washington, not a great start. Game 1, decent start. Game 2, tough start here tonight. When you start to think about the road, Carolina's starts in particular have been way better than they've been at home. So people that are thinking about, eventually going on the road for Game 3 on Friday night, Carolina has played good road hockey, in particular their starts in this postseason. Way better than at home on the whole.
Just looking ahead to Saturday night, the Panthers are only 3-2 at home in this postseason.
It's a good factor on your part. Lost a game against Tampa.
Yep.
Lost a game against Toronto. Just about lost the game after losing Game 3. Almost lost Game 4 against Tampa as well. They have been more comfortable on the road than they have been at home.
Yeah, 3 minutes gone by here in the third. Slavin will locate Stankoven, and Stankoven is going to draw a penalty on Greer as he's knocked down to the ice. And Carolina will be getting their second power play of the evening. See if they can generate anything off of this.
Florida, minor penalty, 10, tripping.
Stankoven draws the call. As you set up this power play, you had a third period power play goal. I know it wasn't meaningful. Jarvis to Blake. You've got 8 shots on goal, Mike. You know what I want to see? I want to see a minimum of 4 or 5 shots on this man advantage. Starts with winning the draw. Aho's going to take it. I think Aho is... I think he's had a decent series. Had a goal. Obviously it was a bounce, but he's had a lot of good looks. Had one taken off the board here tonight.
Canes win the draw back, but Jarvis corkscrewed himself into the ice, and that allows a free clear for Florida. Ekblad had an offering that was deflected over the top of Kochetkov's net, and the Canes have got to regroup here. Aho, leave this one. It'll be Blake. Blake wanted to find that one set up for Jarvis, but that's deflected away all the way back down. Kochetkov comes out of his blue paint to play it, and Goss to spare. He'll wing this one across for Jarvis. Jarvis for Aho. Now Svechnikov into the Florida zone. Puck behind the net. Mikkola moves it. Blake felt a hit coming and lost the puck. And away comes Florida. Back into the Cane zone. Luosterainen makes a hard hit on Svechnikov, but Carolina will take the puck into the Florida zone. Roslovic, he tries the short side. Bobrovsky gets a piece. Florida looking to clear, can't. Svechnikov keeps it in. Burns. He'll chip it. Roslovic. He'll get it to Aho. Bouncing puck. Mikkola can't clear. Roslovic to Burns. 43 seconds left in the man advantage. Aho to Svechnikov. Svechnikov tries to work it back. He does. Roslovic across the ice. Burns. Burns will get it back from Blake. Blake wants it. Blake. He'll get it to Aho. His shot just misses, and that'll deflect off the glass and into the netting with 26 seconds remaining on this power play for Carolina.
Power play has been closer with regards to having a threatening bumper position, man in the middle, and that's usually Aho. It varies with the movement that you're trying to achieve, and there a swooping Aho in the bumper position, just missed on the glove side. Prior to that, Jarvis toe-picked. Blake very frustrated after an entry.
Canes win the draw. Burns gets it across, and shot rocketed just wide, and now Lundell will get a piece. He'll get it to Ekblad. Now Lundell into the Cane zone, top of the right circle. Drops it for Barkov. 10 seconds left in the power play. Lundell will deflect this one back for Forsling. He'll wing this in, and out of the box comes Greer. And Carolina 0 for 2 on the man advantage here tonight. Still trailing 4-0 with 14:45 left here in the third.
And sitting on 9 shots at this point in the game. What a defensive performance from the Panthers.
And Taylor Hall trying to split the middle. Schmidt comes up with it. Looking back for Stahl, but that pass intercepted. And this will be chipped back into the Hurricane zone, but that'll be icing too far with 14:28 remaining here in the third. And again, a 4-goal Panther advantage, leading 4-0.
Florida just has 18 shots, so they've had a 2-1 edge in shots on goal, 18-9. You don't typically see that in an Eastern Conference final or any playoff game. I mean, I'm going back. My first playoff series in the booth was in '99 against Boston in the first round. Off the top of my head, I do not remember anything approaching a Hurricanes game where they've got 9 shots, 5.5 minutes into the third period.
Slavin back for Orlov. That's deflected. Going off of Schmidt. Bounces wide. Stahl, though, will get to the rebound. He leans on Bennett. Martinook will poke at it. Verhaeghe turns, and he'll just clear. And this one will make it back into the Cane zone. Won't be iced, so Florida can change up some personnel. Carrier looking to line up somebody and get a piece of Jones. And Greer ran into Orlov, and now a 2-on-1 developing for Florida the other way. And excellent defensive play by Jacob Slavin.
Well, what a play. And there's Kachuk is banged up behind the Carolina net. Either that or trying to draw a high stick. Stellar play. Stellar play from Jacob Slavin.
And now tempers are starting to flare as Bobrovsky melted down a puck, and Eric Robinson. He and Mikkola are jawing at each other right now.
This would be a commercial break because Bobrovsky cleared this puck the other side of the red line. It's an extended, or will they go to the break? surprised that they will. Tkachuk did catch a stick up high from Slavin. Slavin had made a marvelous play, denying the pass on the 2-on-1.
Well, we are going to break. Tripp with 13:38 left in the third. In Carolina, trailing Florida 4-0. See if there's anything that comes out of the Oscar-worthy performances here by Matthew Tkachuk when we come back here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Earn 4 times the fuel points when you shop today through Tuesday. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
13:38 left here in the third period. A 3-assist night for Carter Verhaeghe, a 3-point night for Sam Bennett, 2 goals and an assist, and Florida has a 4-0 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes here in Game 2 of this Eastern Conference final trip. The scene will shift to Sunrise, Florida for Saturday night, 8 o'clock.
And for those, a little bit of an ice issue here being tended to. For those that weren't with us late in the first and into the second, Sam Reinhart, the key piece, they've got a bunch, but for Florida, out with a lower body injury, so you won't know the significance of what he's dealing with. Chatfield took the warm-up but couldn't go.
And the Canes will win an offensive zone draw as Martinook has his shot deflected by Jones, but Canes able to keep in. Mikkola able to move Stankoven just out of the way, and Carolina will clear. They got to wait for Stahl. As Florida cleared it, they got to wait for Stahl to clear back in. Now the Panthers' Rodriguez wants to center one, but that'll be deflected away. Martinook with it. They'll play it around Seth Jones. They'll cross corner with it. Florida, though, will play it up. Slavin, though, with a turn. They'll try to get it to Stahl, but Rodriguez able to get a stick to it. Evan Rodriguez has been a pretty good find for this Florida team.
Well, was injured late in the Toronto series and then came back in Game 7. He's the one that sets up Aaron Ekblad for a big goal at the time that made it 2-0 back Tuesday in Game 1.
Mark Jankowski draws 3 Panthers, and the puck comes free. Little backhand chance, and a save made by Bobrovsky.
That's a good thought, what Blake did. The only time you can beat Bobrovsky low is when he's moving, like he did on Aho's overturned goal. When he moves, Mike, the heel of his stick comes up. So if you can go underneath that heel like Blake tried to do, that's the one time you can beat him low.
Now Gostisbehere, middle of the rink for Robinson. Robinson, he'll hand this one off for Morrow. Morrow, he'll get it to Blake. Now send it across, hammered right on by Orlov. Save Bobrovsky.
Good tip from Robinson. Bobrovsky's made some really good tip saves tonight. I think of one that Aho had in the second period. Keep getting to the front of the net. Yep. If you keep getting there, those tips, those bounces start to go your way.
As Jones's pass is elevated and hits the scoreboard at center ice, so we'll get a whistle there. Effectively using your tip is never a bad idea when you're in front of the goaltender.
Well, it just, for a goaltender, there's a game plan to tips. You want to be as close to the tip as you can, because of course then it has less time to change the direction of the shot when it's redirected. Bobrovsky does a great job with his athleticism and skating ability to get close to those tips. But if you keep getting them, sooner or later, you're going to get rewarded.
Roslovic needs a body check as puck stays in the Florida zone. Svechnikov wants to get to it. Bennett, though, does and will clear. Canes needed to tag up. They will. Ekblad sees a hit coming. He'll clear it out. And now a chance for Verhaeghe. Burns with a nice play to take it away. And now it's scooted in, and a high drive is off the chest protector of Bobrovsky as Roslovic let it go. And now Carolina will make changes as this puck is on Orlov's stick. Dmitry Orlov. We'll get it to Aho. He wanted to deflect it in. It bounces off of Jones. Second chance. Carrier will get this deep. Bobrovsky along the boards. Not out. Kept in. Gostisbehere at the point. He's looking for that direction. It goes off of Blake into the corner. Lundell. He's got some time and he'll create some space. Getting this puck back out. 10.5 remaining here in the third period. Canes down 4. Blake sidesteps the hit of Luosterainen, and then Blake comes right back at him.
There's going to be a penalty on the play to Luosterainen. In comes Mikkola challenging Aho fin on fin.
And William Carrier steps in, and that diffuses Mikkola just a little bit.
Luosterainen has been arguably the best road performer in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's going to be guilty of, they may call a charge. Let's see what Eric Furlat announces.
Florida 27, minor penalty roughing.
They call a rough. He's been outstanding.
Yes.
You know, he's a former Carolina Hurricane. He is playing with a big-time edge. You know, he's guilty of the rough. But, you know, they're European players, Mike. Mikkola comes in. You know, Carolina has them when they're going. They bring the same thing, but their European players play a game it's like they're from Western Canada.
Right.
Grit. And that has, aside from the fact that he's produced, Vito Luosterainen, that's caught my attention.
9 goals, 15 assists in the regular season trip. Got 4 goals and 9 assists in the postseason for Florida right now as Canes going to work on the power play. And this will be cleared out by Nosek, forcing Stankoven back into his zone as the Burns unit getting the look to start here. Burns, he'll hand it for Hall. Hall, he'll hand this one off. Carolina, Roslovic to Hall. Rolled on Hall just a little bit, then Roslovic wanted to play it for Stankoven. Too far, out of the zone it goes. Burns tracks it down. Halfway through the third period. Canes have 1:25 left on this man advantage. It's their third power play of the night. Roslovic kept it in, then bounced it off of Lundell, and coming the other way, it's Marchand, and a save is made by Kochetkov, and then Jankowski lines up Marchand.
Kochetkov, he hasn't been tested very much, but he looks pretty good to me.
Now Marchand avoids the hit of Hall. He'll get it across, and a chance there, and they can't reconnect with Marchand. As looking to make that play was Lundell. Carolina changes up the personnel, and there's only 50 seconds left here on the power play. Gostisbehere with it. As Aho and Jarvis interact. Aho. He'll hand this one Blake. He'll get it to Gostisbehere. He moves in, and his shot blocked. Aho will get to the rebound. Sends it to an open space where Gostisbehere gets to it. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Blake can't handle the pass. As that bounces out, and Carolina needs to regroup, they will. Jarvis, grabbed by Jones. He'll get to the puck in the corner. Back for Gostisbehere. He'll get it to Aho, top of the right circle. He'll drift to the blue line. Gostisbehere with a tip for Blake. Right back to Aho. Now Gostisbehere, side of the net. Jarvis, that's deflected by Jones. Svechnikov to Aho. 2 seconds left in the man advantage. Greer with a outstanding play on Aho. And the power play is over for Carolina. Now Jarvis, though, will get it to Blake. Blake spins around from Schmidt. He wanted to get it in deep. Verhaeghe, watched by Slavin. Slavin with a shot out in front. Redirected. Bobrovsky makes the save.
That's another one of those close tips. Slavin to Stahl. keep generating that, sooner or later the puck's going to have eyes. He's reacting to him really well. What's he not reacting well to?
Yeah, everything. The Canes now have 12 shots on goal. Carrier with it. Martinook, he'll wrist one that Bobrovsky will cover and hang on. 7:46 remaining here in this third period.
I was pausing because I thought a commercial light was coming on.
Oh, so did I.
Came on like escargot.
Well, we're at a snail's pace now with 7:46 left in the third, and Florida leading the Hurricanes 4-0 here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything's possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
7:46 left here in the third period. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. Florida Panthers with a 1-0 series lead and a 4-0 lead here in game number 2. Again, the scene will shift to South Florida on Saturday night.
Carolina on the road in the regular season had their struggles. This is not false hope. I've liked the way they've played. In terms of overall consistency in their game, you can make a strong argument they've been better on the road. Like I said earlier, in particular their starts, and won a really good game that they deserved to win in Florida in early January.
And as play resumes, Gostisbehere with it in the Florida zone at the left point. Wings one off the glass behind the net for Robinson. He was covered there by Kulikov. Up the boards for A.J. Greer. Greer gets to center ice, takes a shove from Carrier as he delivers the biscuit into the Cane zone. Nosek going after it. And his pass, though, misses everybody. Robinson will get it, and he'll kick it up for Svechnikov. Svechnikov and Forsling will meet for it. Svechnikov strong on the puck. Wanted to feed it across to Roslovic, but that was taken away. Now he'll bounce one out in front. And Kochetkov has to come all the way out to challenge there on Marchand. Goes over the net. Penalty coming up to Carolina. Marchand with it. Side of the net trying to find Lundell. This line for Paul Maurice was brilliant in the Toronto series, and they'll draw the second power play of the game for Florida here with 6:43 left in the third.
Well, Big Rig, my dear friend and brother, we've talked plenty about Florida and how they're humming like a finely tuned machine.
Carolina number 8, minor penalty, playing the puck with a broken stick.
The announcement from Eric Furlad, good explanation. But I'll tell you, Kochetkov on that flip from Ekblad to Marchand, no hesitation as Burns broke his stick. No hesitation to come out and use his stick really effectively before Marchand could settle it in a breakaway situation. After the fact, Burns plays it with a broken stick. So as I continue to watch more and more, my intuition is, you came into the playoffs saying you were going to use 2 goaltenders. I'm thinking Piotr on the road.
Right now, a power play is underway for Florida. 1-for-1 tonight. Gave them a 3-goal lead in the first period. Tkachuk with a shot that was kicked away, and Florida able to keep the puck in the zone. It bounces off of Orlov. to the corner for Barkov. And work back Ekblad to the middle of the ice, walking the blue line. Ekblad lets it go, and they score! A power play goal, and Alexander Barkov with as good of a tip as you're going to see on a power play goal.
You know, we've been talking about the number of tips that haven't gone for Carolina. You had a tip from Bennett in the first period. Beautiful tip here from Barkov. And he has as long of a stick, one of the longest sticks that there is in hockey. You know, when you look at how successful Florida's been on their power play, look at the simplicity of it. Ekblad just floats one in. That's one where you don't put that on Kochetkov. The tip, the rangy tip from Barkov, beats Kochetkov between the arm and the body on the blocker side. But that's a situation where you'd love to get a little tighter on Barkov, and then maybe you put yourself in position to get hit by that deflection. But you want to go to school on the simplicity of Florida's power play.
Well, right now, Florida's power play is humming in this series, as they are 4 for 5. As Carrier gets a shot deflected, goes off of Kulikov. Now Gostisbehere to a rebound. His chance is blocked, and this one will be sent back into the Kane zone by Gadjevich, and Morrow back to pick it up. And Scott Morrow playing away from Bennett. He'll locate Roslovic, who will work it back in deep into the Florida end. Hall goes in after the puck behind the Florida net. Mikkola plays it up the board, but Orlov is there, back behind the net for Hall. Hall tries to avoid the check of Bennett, given away by Verhaeghe to Svechnikov. So then the puck will bounce away, and a clearing attempt here made by Mikkola. Get it up for Burns. Burns throws it back into the Florida zone. 5 minutes remaining here in this third period, and only one thing left to be resolved in this one, it feels like, Tripp, and that is Sergei Bobrovsky come up with his 6th postseason shutout.
It's about the start. It's all about the start. Carolina had a pretty decent start to a good start in game 1. Florida's power play gets the all-important first goal. This game is about the start that Florida had.
Yes.
And just how immensely difficult it is to chase the game, let alone against the Stanley Cup champions.
And Stahl with it behind his long range. Works it back for Gostisbehere. Shot at the point will be deflected wide. Will be scooped up, and nice play by Stankoven as he absorbs a hit from Lundell and Marchand. And Stahl wanted to center it back for Stankoven, but that misses everybody, and Kochetkov back to it. 4:05 left here in this third period. 5-0 Florida in the lead over Carolina. With game 3 coming up Saturday night at Amaranth Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. And a bouncing puck settled down by Orlov in his own zone.
Adversity, and the team is going to have to relish the bunker mentality of going on the road. Like I said, a place that they had a really good regular season victory.
Yep.
I understand totally different stakes in January, not May. Having been a good road team in the playoffs this year. And they're going to need the starts that they've had, in particular on the road.
Smarter man than me says you got to dig in. Well, grab a shovel and a pickaxe.
This is one of those series, usually they say the fourth win's the toughest. Based on now the conference final 2 years ago and this one, Carolina's going to have success and scratch their way back into a series. It's going to be the first win that is the toughest. I felt that coming into tonight, and obviously it's been a tough night.
3:02 left here in the third. We'll bring you the completion of this one. It is Eastern Conference Final. Florida leading the Hurricanes 5-0. You're listening to Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey on the Canes Radio Network on 99.9 The Fan.
What? What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hockey is a game of speed, and the Triangle is one of the fastest growing regions in the country. At the center of the excitement are Lenovo and the Carolina Hurricanes, partnering to unveil the Lenovo Center. With one of its global headquarters in the Triangle, Lenovo is the perfect partner to launch a new era of technology and fun. Don't miss out. Come check out the Lenovo Center and cheer on the Canes. 3:02 left here in this third period. During all road games this postseason, the Carolina Ale House is offering the ultimate viewing experience for all fans in Cary. Be sure to join Stormy and the gang at the Carolina Ale House in Cary for the next watch party Saturday night. Carolina Ale House, exclusive sponsors of the Canes playoff watch parties.
And you know what's going to get a restart on the road? The booth can.
I cannot wait.
Yep, it's going to get a restart.
Thought we had one tonight. Some notes for you, Trip Tracy, and you've been a part of all of this. As Carolina has 14 shots, that is not misspeaking. The Canes have had, in the postseason, franchise low shots. 14 shots in 2001 at New Jersey. 15 shots 2002 at Toronto. What can you tell me about those games?
Give me those dates again.
I don't have the dates. I just have that it was 14 shots at New Jersey, 15 at Toronto.
Do you have the year?
Yeah, 0-1 against New Jersey,
yeah.
0-2 against Toronto.
Okay, so 0-1 against New Jersey, Carolina dug in. They didn't win the series. They came back here and won Game 4 and then won on the road in Game 5.
That would be
And that was huge in Hurricanes history. So, like they're going to have to dig in this series. They got a standing ovation after they got eliminated in Game 6, the way they dug in that series against, I think the Devils won the Stanley Cup that year. Or at least they went to the final.
Went to the final.
They would have played Colorado, but that's what I remember about that. And then Toronto in 2002?
Yep.
Okay, Toronto in 2002, Carolina won all 3 games on the road in that conference final.
So they
3,
won,
4, and 6.
They won both games, but they now have 16 shots on goal. They put 2 shots since then, and 75 seconds left in this one. As Morrow helps this one around for Gostisbehere. I'll just point this one out. In the previous round for the Florida Panthers, they lost their first 2 games. And then came back to win the series against Toronto. Again, that is a different animal.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the way these two, especially tonight that it's looked. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, Florida is a championship machine that's rolling. They lost Sam Reinhart. We don't know the extent of that. But when I'm thinking about, just trying to win a game, I've liked the way Carolina's played on the road. Didn't love Game 3 in New Jersey. They got better as a game, but starting Game 4 in New Jersey, 4 in New Jersey, 1 and 2 in Washington, 5 in Washington. I've liked the way they played on the road.
Now a sharp angle shot. Slapped on. Bobrovsky makes the save. Rebound comes out to Rodriguez. He'll clear it out to center. As Jankowski was looking for something. 5 seconds left. And this clock is going to hit 0 as Burns held on to the puck, and for the 6th time in his postseason career, Sergei Bobrovsky records a shutout, and the Florida Panthers have outscored Carolina 10-2 in the first 2 games of this Eastern Conference Final.
Well, this is adversity, all in caps, and it's about going down to Florida and winning a game. Some of these pre-existing playoff journeys, and I know it's the defending Stanley Cup champions, I would have felt less hopeful about Carolina on the road because they were such a significantly better team at home than they were on the road. In particular, their starts that cost them this hockey game, and you look at a handful of tough starts in this building, now into the Eastern Conference Final, going back to the first round. Their starts on the road have been way better.
Yeah.
And they're going to need one of those starts in that building, as we talked about in the third period, where they probably, different stakes, but had arguably their most quality and impressive road win of the regular season come Saturday night.
Well, they're going to need to duplicate that, partner. They need to.
And I'm thinking long and hard, thinking back to the Montreal series, going down 2-0 at home.
Yep.
You came into the playoffs saying, good chance you're going to use 2 goaltenders. And Kochetkov gave up a tip goal to Barkov, but I know how brilliant Anderson's been on the road. But at the very least, thinking back to that Montreal series, maybe just to change things up, how he's played against Bobrovsky in his career,
yep.
I'm at least giving that some solid deliberation, partner.
Yeah, I think you have to look at it that way. Coming up, Adam Gold will wrap up this portion of our Eastern Conference Final broadcast. Final score here tonight. Panthers down the Hurricanes 5-0 thanks to John Brockwell, who is our in-studio, in-booth engineer. Rusty Helzer back in master control in Raleigh. Adam Gold will wrap this one up. Good luck with that, Adam. As the Carolina Hurricanes are down 2-0 in this best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final to the Florida Panthers. As the Panthers again win this one here tonight at Lenovo Center on the final of 5-0. For Chip Tracy, I'm Mike Maniscalco. Adam Gold will wrap this one up after these messages here on your Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Earn 4 times the fuel points when you shop today through Tuesday. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
It isn't about who's a better team. It's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly, and then came back and won 3 in a row, coming home to win the 5th game, only to realize that winning a championship, even after all the experience we had, is not that easy. And then going back to Philadelphia for Game 6, and they trounced us in Philly. Now we find ourselves in a Game 7, and then once you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. You can get a bad break, an unlucky bounce, as we've seen in the past. And so everything's at stake, everything's on the line. And I think luckily for us, we're able to, really kind of rely on our experiences that we had in the past. We felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty. And sure enough, we're able to win our 3rd cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Hurricanes on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 924. Panthers on Sirius 211, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is Sirius XM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. Sirius XM NBA Radio. Sirius XM 86.
New York Rangers legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to share what it was like to play in the 1994 finals with the New York Rangers, as well as ending the 54-year drought for the franchise and how that team represented what a hockey team is all about.
Well, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about 1994.